going to come out on top of this one, Tony, as both our teams prepare themselves for absolute chaos. I don't know if UTS are going to have the flexibility they had last week in playing some of the most creative compositions I've ever seen in my time casting this beautiful game, but we'll see what they can bring out right now as we jump into the draft here. Band's going to be on lock, Gambit going to be folded away.
Yeah, Gambit expected, as we spoke about last week, we spoke about weeks previous. Gambit's still pretty prio in the meta, but of course a lot of different things have started to blossom a little bit. We've seen a lot of prio towards the Devil Dino, as we've of course seen over in MRI, and a lot of these other, like, I guess, more prominent strategist picks kind of fall by the wayside a little bit. You know, speaking about Mantis slipping through the band drafts most of the time in weeks previous, but UNSW Raw, they know what they want. It's the Devil Dino first here with a one-sided.
It's kind of fascinating to see them prioritize the Daredevil so heavily here, considering the focus that Black Cat's been having over the Daredevil in this current day and age. But it does allow UNSW Raw to secure that single-sided Devil Dinosaur there. UTS will be able to rip away at the White Fox, so at least they can't play into the team-up capabilities of that hero there. And now looking to have it traded on to themselves as well, potentially. They're hovering over it. But in terms of that, it is going to be Ultron taken away. So Ultron ban is still kind of there, but it isn't as prominent as it was.
Yeah, it's very interesting. You know, we're not in the flyer meta of old, and you know, Ultron Torch isn't raiding supreme primacy over the battlefield. But yeah, Ultron's still pretty strong. You know, that double drone, always very effective. Of course, the damage buff as well is quite effective if you can 3-2-1 a target down very effectively, like both these teams have shown that they've got that kind of coordination to go for it. Psylocke being saved here is an interesting one from UNSW Raw. I really enjoy to see that pick from them when it does come through. Loki getting taken away here for UTS, though, taking away a lot of the kind of stronger strategists, I guess, in the pool. You know, White Fox getting taken away by both sides, so we won't see too much attention to dive, but we'll see probably a little bit more front to back here from UTS with that Loki one-sided lock-in here. And UNSW Raw, they rounded out the Mantis for the heads.
Yeah, we'll be able to run it out, run it through Loki. Going to be single-sided there for UTS, so at least they can play into that one on priority. But I mean, speaking of priorities, you do have Runk actually switching it over to the Rocket here. I kind of like this. Lick looking to bring out the Jeff this time around. You'd think that those heroes might be on opposite sides, but it does go to show the flexibility of those players there. And one of the same, Luna, to be coming out from Washed there. Mickey looking to replicate on the Loki. So everything's all falling into place accordingly. I love the Strange coming out early as well from UTS here. Even despite not having access to any team-ups here, they're still looking to play into it. Maybe not. Daryl Banner bringing out the Banner instead.
Yeah, I was just about to speak on the Strange pick. Maybe we see like an aggressive portal in the face of UNSW Raw, try to split their team in half. But yeah, UNSW Raw, I said it wasn't going to be much attention to dive, but I tell a lie, Matt. We've got Resh, of course, on the Venom. We've got Devil Dino. We've got the Black Cat. That's pretty good. Phoenix and Black Cat kind of your stapled duelists at the moment for the meta. And, oh, okay, no, never mind. It's actually going to be soon. Ripping this portal. Daryl, of course, just going to be sticking on the hole. Looking for a cheeky little exile. They will portal in the face in this choke here in front of UNSW Raw. They'll spot the Jeff up, and they'll also spot Runk. They'll go through Yu Wang, though, with a shotgun. We'll take out Mickey first.
Yeah, that's a great way to kick off onto this one. Frost also taking aim here. It's not the same, Tony, as UNSW Raw pour ahead, playing into that Primal Judgment team up to an absolute T here. And we'll be able to secure the first mission area for free. So, capture progression are going to be in their favor soon. Trying to contend with Yuang the One there, but they're going to have to distance themselves. Otherwise, they're going to be faced with a big shotgun to the face real quick.
And a big Devil Dino up in their face as well, just spitting beams at them. You see Soon just trying to get on towards that back line. Buddy barrier up from Frost to keep everybody safe. And BRB brings Nuva back, so UNSW Raw, they did lose out on that initial engagement there up on the higher ground, but they're still able to capitalize on their strong positioning. Falling back, and Resh trying to take out Mickey, but he's got good cover. Also has his second strategist to help him out. Frost is going to get the chop down on the J-Sune, so great control here from UNSW Raw, just backing off when necessary, playing the cover and playing the life, as they would say.
Yeah, playing for life and looking to see if they can get out of the strife that they are being faced with here. UTS are trying to take the pressure to them. Frost are getting a ton of damage there, but they aren't able to break it through. They're playing the cover onto this one, but eventually will be smothered out. So good to overwhelm there. Nuva and Co, though, we're going to get some flanks through, settling the score here and evening things up, and now furthering it. J-Sune desperately trying to clamber around, but the buddy barrier nullifies the majority of their damage there. Hulk Smash coming out as well. There's just multiple desperate plays coming into this one, Tony, and I feel like if they've been used in combination earlier, it might have gone a little bit better, but because they trickled through there, UNSW just pour ahead.
Yeah, that was just some strong coordination there. Buddy Barry completely eating up that Galactic Legend. UTS not getting any value out of that one, and the fight kind of gets staggered out from there. Nuva as well, finding some great picks there. You see why they get Nuva on this Psylocke. It's such an effective pick for a team like UNSW Raw. Now they'll be using the Rampage up top here. We also see the Amplifier coming out of Rump. J-Sune, though, to find the first initial pick here. Dance the Butterfly on towards the low ground. Nuva's able to use that room for cover, but this gives the room for UTS to move on up.
Moving on up, moving on in, and Mickey to be the one leading the charge there for at least the next few seconds as they hold on to position. Now may get forced back. Oh, here we go. Final Judgment coming through. They're going to have to play angles here. Get out of line of sight. Unfortunately, Mickey does slip away in the doppelganger wash. Not so lucky, though. Fist of the Abyss coming out there. They're desperately trying to clamber around. Shut down Yuang the One. The ult will run its course and potentially could be teammates running their course as well, but I love how Anthony there is just playing from a distance and just propelling the damage up, but with their teammates going down, this is going to be problematic real fast.
Yeah, Anthony's going to have to fall back there. Resh is hot on his tail, and now you can see the front end here. Nuva and Runk and Resh all getting involved, and Nuva is going to send them back towards the spawn, and Hell's Heaven first point of domination. UNSW Raw, Matt. The Super Soldier Factory, pretty convincing. You know, they let UCS maybe, claim a little bit of percentage there, but it still felt like a lot of control was still in the hands of UNSW Raw at the end of the day.
Yeah, a lot of control in the tug of war are going to be good for them there. And now looking to stroll ahead to first capture point done and dusted. And we move on up into another section here. Take it easy, take it breezy, but I mean, UTS, like, what can they change here, Do they try and match the pick of the Punisher there instead of the Star-Lord onto this one, Tony? Now that they're playing Iron Man, maybe UTS's composition's a little better. What do you think needs to change here?
I definitely think, yeah, maybe not matching the Venom is probably a great call. Get the Emma out to deal with the Dino. And, Daryl, I can't really fault Daryl, right? Daryl's a brilliant Hulk player, so we maybe just need to see some more target focus on the Exiles, right? Because Daryl can land a great Exile, but it just feels like UTS, the follow-up isn't there because they're a little bit scattered in their approach. So J-Sune, of course, Star-Lord is a pretty good one for this high ground engagement. But UNSW Raw, they're just baiting out these fights pretty well and then using their cover to back off, using Frost as well as that front-end pressure. You're going to be seeing Emma. Chokeslam going to be returned here. Galactic Legend coming through. But Resh is going to be eating up all the damage while It's Jeff comes through. Two players swallowed up here from UTS, and Lick is just going to hold them for the longest time. He doesn't spit Anthony off, but will be able to get him with the right click. Lick just playing with his food. And Runk to secure another KO. Beautifully played there for UNSW.
Yeah, great to use the CR to amplify their damage there, and we'll be able to hold on tight to progression here. Maybe not so much in the meanwhile, though. This is going to be J-Sune looking to pump up the damage onto this one and play the angles to a T. and a breaker free of their grasp. Speaking of Anuva now, bringing out the dance and the butterfly onto this one, and managing to slice and dice their way through, and it's going to enable them to get 4 KOs across them, making it a full team wipe. PSA goodbye, Daryl Banner, and it will be done and dusted for UNSW Raw.
Yeah, this is a worrisome sight here to start off this series, right? Just with how far forward UNSW are playing. They're just really in the face of UTS, drowning them in space. J-Sune's gone over to the Daredevil. Feels like a little bit of a desperation play. J-Sune pretty good on the Daredevil. And you can see why UTS sometimes opt to bring it through with the lock here. Frost, top of everybody. It's just eating so much of that chip damage that's coming through. BRB brings back Yu Wang. He does have that Galactic Legend to play with. Rampage coming through from Frost. And Song Inferno going to be coming through the backside of things. And Resh actually going to be taken out on that one. Galactic Legend traded back from Yu Wang. Frozen in air. Perfectly sniped out by Wash, but he's taken out. And Yu Wang is now here to play. 2 for him, and he's taken down 2. The Hulk from Daryl doing all too much here for UNSW. And they might be set packing in just a little bit here.
Yeah, we'll be packing them away here. UTS, unfortunately, not able to bring anything to the table here. You ain't the one bringing out the Spidey. Okay, looking to do something with that one. I like what I'm seeing, but are they going to be able to get return on investment from it? Yet to be seen as they take to the skies. Rise up, Spidey. Looking to just scout ahead for their team onto this one. There you go. It's Mickey contesting. We'll get the OT timer regeneration domain popped as well. They did a great job to stall there, so they get the portal through, playing a silent seduction, and it's a well-timed combo onto this one.
Yeah, they will take out Frost. BRB brings him back, though, and well-placed here. I have to give credit to Runkright, just knowing where to put those BRBs to get that maximum value. Frost getting taken out once again from Washed. Now, Resh is going to have to retreat here down to a slither of HP, 31. He's able to get out, though. And we'll see an attempted pull there from Yu Wang, trying to get that environmental KO potential that this map offers. And we'll finally see UTS cap Matt, so some percentage to their board and a well-played portal and a well-played swap as well with the ultimates. You can see Yu Wang still poking around here with this Spider-Man, just trying to make something happen.
Oh, the Devil's going to make something happen now, though. J-Sune good to try and find more off the opening there. Rez will be able to target down a Washed onto this one. Down to the Butterfly around the back as well. Only going to be able to stack up the damage onto one there, but the rest of the team is getting the job done here. They try and hunt them down. Devil Beast Rampage being popped by Frost as well. Why not? Stampede their way around. Is Jeff coming through as well? Could be the last moment delivery system they need here. Mickey going down, though, will be curtained. So, UNSW Raw pour ahead and claim Hell's Heaven.
Yeah, dominance out of UNSW Raw. A little bit less there on that first one, on that second one, sorry, of domination, but first one was pretty clean from them. And yeah, for UTS, we might have to think about banning Silo already. Like, it's already a conversation that has to happen, Matt, because Nuba was lights out on the Psylocke. You know, it was backed up pretty well by Resh, backed up pretty well by Frost, and as well the strategist getting involved. But yeah, Nuva on this Psylocke is a threat, and you can see why. 16 final hits, 13k damage, 26 eliminations, Matt. More than most of his team. You know, we can see Frost and Resh at 20 and 21, so Nuva outpacing the rest of the roster, and well played to UNSW Raw overall. That was a well-played domination map.
Yeah, they kept themselves accountable, kept themselves composed basically the whole way through there. You know, just when you think Psylocke is starting to fall out of favor a little bit, only coming out on the rare occasion, now Nuva brings them out in a big way there, and I think that's the power of some of those unavoidable ultimates, right? Like your Psylocke ult there in the Dance of the Butterfly, where you just slice through basically the whole enemy team. The only thing you can really adapt around it is to try and stick together and put as much shielding between you and the damage as possible. But I mean, Nuva just finds ways through it time and time again there for their team, and so it'll be a really solid first game coming through for UNSW. But UTS, they had some little glimmers of hope, I'd say, in a few little moments there. You know, I was impressed towards the end how Mickey was able to solve it out for their team long enough to get them onto the point there with the portal, as well as seeing some little opening opportunities into some of those fights there.
Yeah, it's cool to see Mickey as well get tested in the extent of what he can play, because we've seen him on Luna a ton recently, but they opted to give it to Washed. Did play a pretty decent Loki, couldn't get a lot of things going with all the dive that was happening there. Loki, pretty good at anti-dive, but not when you're just getting run down by a Devil Dino, a Spider-Man, and a Psylocke, especially Nuba. This Psylocke pick I have to go back to, Matt. Very good at dealing with some of the composition that UTS are running here, because you've got the Phoenix, you've got the Luna, less mobile in terms of the rest of the heroes, right? Venom, Daredevil, Jeff, they can all get away from a Psylocke pretty well, but a Luna, a Phoenix, a little bit less likely. And as well, Nuva, we know what they're capable of with that Psylocke, and it's that one-shot burst combo that is just so hard to answer if you're a strategist, if you're a duelist that's a little bit less mobile.
Yeah, it's terrifying, isn't it? And it goes to show the value of that White Fox ban there as well, where they don't have an option like that one in order to just bounce between your teammates there, teleport around them. Like Mickey was on the Loki earlier in the piece there. Sure, they have the doppelgangers that they can kind of push between to adapt around some of that damage, but without that, playing into the Jeff was certainly the right move there. It's just difficult for, someone like Washed to try and get around it in any other way. Like, what do they do to change here? Do they sacrifice some of the healing value they bring out of this one, go play something else? Maybe they play into a more mobile hero like Rocket or something else there. A lot of things to contemplate. And no better place to be doing some contemplation than on our second map, the Museum of Contemplation, the O Special. We're going to be making our way towards that one for our convoy section here, everybody. You think you can get away from the museum? No, the museum's back in a fiery vengeance.
Yeah, you can never escape the museum, Matt. But my contemplation thoughts go towards UTS. How do they adapt here in this next ban draft? Because, you could just, bet out the Psylocke, and that's like one side of thinking, right? But there's also the other side where it's like, do we maybe put more prio towards the Devil Dino? Do we take away that first Gambit ban and maybe throw the Devil Dino in there? Because Frost was pretty menacing to deal with. They won't, of course, contemplate that direction, though, Matt. Still going to be first Gambit bans for both sides. And again, going to be staying with the Daredevil first lock here for UTS.
And I think that's kind of like a hero pool difference, because maybe Jaesune is less confident on the Black Cat compared to the Daredevil there, so they want to get that protect onto the Daredevil as quick as possible there. So I think that could be the reason behind that priority there, so they don't take away some of their power picks, let's say. So it's a bit unfortunate, but yeah, we have seen the trend where some teams opt in for the Devil Dino ban as opposed to the Gambit ban, right? I mean, we saw it between the Chiefs and Gen G on one of the maps there. We've seen it in the Americas region where some teams are starting to, concede the Gambit a little bit. They're a little bit more comfortable in playing against the Master of the Cards. But speaking of Masters, we are seeing White Fox are taken away there. UTS adapting their bans to take away the Psylocke this time. So clearly realizing the power of that duelist.
Yeah, absolutely. Psylocke in Nuva's hands is a threat that's not worth dealing with. We'll see as well. Of course, White Fox being the de facto second ban for a lot of these teams. Gambit, Devil Dino as well. We'll see Devil Dino one-sided again from UNSW Raw. On Museum, a map that's pretty good for Devil Dino with the hallway fights, of course, the different angles you can take. It allows the Devil Dino to, you don't have to go too dive-centric. You don't have to be up in the face as much. You can hide behind corners, get topped up by your strategist. And for the side of UTS, they did go for the one-sided Loki last time, but opting to ban the Loki, maybe going to be saving Luna. Pretty interesting call to make, especially with the Phoenix on the other side here from UNSW.
Yeah, it just looks like they're kind of playing into a similar composition here, right? Where UTS try and play around their own Loki onto this one. They've got priority over the Luna again there. I saw they were thinking about playing into the Invis instead, but I mean, Invis, definitely still a staple pick into this one, especially when you're playing triple strategist there, but doesn't look like UTS's focus is going to be in that direction here. You know, they're going to try their best to play around and Anthony there, as well as Jaesune playing into the Daredevil and Punisher team-ups there for one thing, but also having the two different points of damage there, where Anthony's able to play on to the hit scan role there, and Jaesune can kind of play onto the KO secure / flanking role there. So it's good that they're fulfilling different things for each other. And I'm very excited to see the effectiveness of their composition. As UNSW Raw, they have a lot at their disposal, right? They're playing into what I was talking about before, the triple strategist, and they're bringing out the Atom. When I see Atom, it kind of looks like they're playing a similar Gen G style composition.
Yeah, it's like dive, but also like you've got heavy reset potential if Runk is going to be rocking with the Atom as he walks out. The potential for the resurrection, always good to see. Karmic Revival comes in clutch, as we've seen a ton in the MRI, especially from, as you mentioned, Gen G, one of those teams that really likes to play the res comp. Normally you pair it with the Loki, so it just becomes that much more threatening, the fact that you could have double Karmic Revival at any time. Very hard to deal with. It feels like you have to win 2 fights out if the enemy's going against that. But we will start off the piece here. Jaesune, of course, rocking on the Moon Knight, knowing that UNSW Raw are going to be playing a little bit more towards the hold side of things with that Devil Dino. Moon Knight pretty good at getting out a ton of chip damage as well. As you mentioned, Uber now playing into the triple strategist composition is pretty good. You know, DPS Luna, as we've seen so far throughout the university competition, quite a worrisome one if you're not prepared for it.
Yeah, you gotta really hold yourself accountable there, don't you? And I mean, one other hero in that regard is Rocket, but it's gonna be UNSW now locking in a KO for KO onto this. Gonna take it slow, take it steady here. Anthony just holding the angles, not looking to be overly exposed onto this one. Just try and trickle that damage ahead so they can charge themselves up. Now have the final judgment available with the Hand of Khonshu perhaps, or the Seer, or the Foundry. It's all looking good for them. Now combining the final judgment with the Seer is major. UNSW have made the perfect adaptation though, where no value is being found for UTS. All they get is really just a bit of distance. And that distance has now been claimed back by Lick with the It's Jeff.
Yeah, that was a very interesting It's Jeff coming out from Lick there, just spitting his entire team on top of UTS. As soon as they think they have control of that mission vehicle, they're going to be sent packing. Resh with the triple with the basic clicks there. Resh getting a triple in USW Raw, setting back UTS to their spawn. And ultimates are going to have to be built up once again. It was interesting, right? Getting Anthony with that amplified judgment out, dealing a ton of damage there on the UNSW Raw. But just not quite able to secure those KOs in the end. It's another from Resh. BRB going to be broken soon, taken out by Frost. This is such a hard thing to deal with if you're the Gruten thing, right? Devil Dino is just so much damage, but also so much displacement at the same time.
I'm good to go.
Yeah, there's going to be so much they can kind of tap into with that one, isn't there? But speaking of tapping in, Anthony now looking to play the angle here. With Vanguards creeping up. Frost is scouting really well here. They're looking to dive in straight onto the enemy team onto this one. See if they can get something from it. They will. Double KO across the team, and now more streaming ahead here as they relegate them into the side room there. Daryl desperately trying to push their way out of this one, but I mean, UTS, you know, they're hard stuck into this position right now, and UNSW are not looking to give space for free. With Yu Yang the one going down though, it does mean UNSW will have to concede a little bit here and fall back.
Yeah, they're going to have to be a little bit careful. Karmic Revival coming out from Runk. The perfect time here, and this is where UNSW Raw decide to probably go for it. We'll see Strangling Prison not do all too much. Actually, it will lock them up there into the Khonshu, but Runk, as we said, Karmic Revival brings Resh and Lick back. Meteor out the dunk in air from Resh onto Washington. It will be Yu Wang fighting Jaesune. Now Mickey's under fire and he needs to be careful. He doesn't have the cover of his Vanguards. It's Jeff coming out from Lick. Swallows up his Vanguards. Will swallow up a few of the enemies, takes them and displaces them. That's the power of this composition here from UNSW Raw. And Frost having a portal back to get towards this mission vehicle, just to keep it. Oh, he was actually going for an environmental KO there, Matt. Frost, you cheeky devil.
Yeah, you don't see much creative portal tech these days, but when you do, it shines so nicely. They are going to be able to drag out the time, maybe not for long though. Good double up from UTS to kick the fight off here. UNSW forced to play from a bit of a distance onto this one. Soon utilizing the walls there, and Jaesune looking to hunt down this KO onto Lick. Lick is running for dear life here. It's like a running race onto this one. They've distracted Jaesune completely out of position here. Might work out for UNSW, but still more time to play into, Tony. Here we go.
Now they immediately find the KO on a Frost. Yuang now trying to get involved here with the Feast of the Abyss. Final Judgment coming through from Anthony. You can see a few anti players there on UTS, but they're pretty comfortable playing next to Anthony with this Final Judgment. He's just lining those shots up. Very precise. Now try and fly on towards the Luna. Look for the shotgun. Pump. It's a triple from Anthony. Maybe also wants Frost, but Frost is not having a bar of it. UNSW Raw will have to surrender that first point. They'll have to surrender the time over as well. They'll have to think long and hard about their adaptations, and that's Yuang going to be on the Iron Man.
Oh my days. The man in the iron armor there. Going to be absolutely diabolical to bring that one out, Tony. But you know what? If it works, it works. And if they can get the greatest Miserable Pulse Cannon of their lives, it might be just worth it. For now, though, Soon does force out the dance floor coming through. Meteor over the top as well, for good measure. Okay, and it does catch Mickey. Soon going down also here. This is a good chance to turn things around back in favor of UNSW right now.
Yeah, no strategist is safe. From the Meteor comes heat sinking from Resh. Perfectly played there, and well, for UTS, you know, now a minute starts to stall out of the clock, and I again want to go back to this Iron Man pick. It's interesting that Yuang swapped into this already knowing that UTS are playing that Frank Castle, so yeah, it must be a very confident pick out of Yuang. We'll see Rampage coming through here from Frost. Does a lot of bleed damage there onto the backside of UTS. Jaesune letting that devil out. Karmic Revival's already been popped here by Runk, so very aggressive fight that UNSW Raw are opting to play for here. Anthony down the low ground, been spotted up there by Runk, but Karmic Revival's now starting to lose its effects here because UTS is still clean wiping this fight with the Amplifier.
Yeah, looking to wipe it up, utilize the elevated damage there and see if they can propel themselves towards another checkpoint in their favor. So they know, though, JFT, Frost, and Nuva will be locking it down onto this one with the Primal Judgment. Looking for more. It's Jeff around the side. Good isolation onto Mickey there, shutting down one of their key strategists here, leaving it all up to Washed on this one. And we'll be able to push on forward.
Yeah, I believe they're trying to split Mickey into spawn there, but didn't quite get it as far as they would like. But Frost, great cleanup here with the portal play from Resh, and great reset. Again, UNSW Raw very effective on these portal resets that they've been opting to go for. Sometimes we see teams ban the Strange just because that exact reason. Resh with the Eye of Agamotto with the Invincible Pulse coming through the portal. You ain't getting a little bit fancy with it. It doesn't really hit its mark. Daryl comes through trying to touch, and he's just out of time, Matt. UTS only securing themselves that one cap.
Yeah, good job from them for at least pushing a little bit there, but UNSW maintain composure all the way through towards the end there. So, going to be happy with that outcome as they have a much lesser distance in order to cover now. So, let's see if anything is going to be changing really on either side of this one. UTS seem pretty comfortable on the compositions that we're running there. UNSW Raw are changing it up, though. The Black Cat is coming out to try and match the Devil here. So, very interested in how they play into this one, Tony, and very interested in what else they are going to be able to bring here. They take it slow, take it easy, but the gates are going to be open before you know it.
30 seconds before you attack.
And it's, you always teasing this Black Cat, man. I've seen this like 3 times from him. The hover
Bring it out.
On Hell's Heaven. Yeah, just bring it out already.
Yeah, come on. Let the Black Cat out.
I'm sick of seeing it.
No!
Squirrel, this can't be real. Squirrel Girl's definitely not real. I want to, of course, speak about UTS, right? I was expecting there was such a dominant game from UTS last week on the Torch. I was expecting them to bring it back to play here.
Yeah, maybe don't want to bring out the, you know, the best compositions they can twice, Tony.
True.
Looking to save it for...
Might lose its magic, you know.
Yeah, that's why we got the Squirrel Girl right now, right? I feel like we saw... Did we see that from UTS last week as well? I can't remember.
I feel like we did.
Yeah, we saw a lot of creative stuff. I think Hawkeye might have been in there at one point. Like, there was just a bit of everything. And honestly, power to them for bringing out, some unique Marvel Rivals gameplay. That's all I'm going to say about that. So, interested in more. But we'll see how things go. Keep breaking it down while our teams get themselves set up.
Yeah, just some quick technical things going on in the background, but yeah, it's interesting looking at the comp as well. UTS, it was a very defensive composition that whole time. UNSW Raw, of course, it was an aggressive one, right? Triple strategist. We had Rug on the Adam, and it was very, I don't know, maybe a second too early from some of those karmic revivals. It just felt like it got its value, but then we still saw UTS kind of win the fight out. They won it 2 times over. They were just that strong in that engagement. And then I feel like UNSW Raw, to credit, a lot of the percentage they were able to hold came from the portal plays that they were able to pull off.
Yeah, and it just goes to show, you got to stay creative. You have to really enable yourselves when the circumstances require something like a portal to change the tides of things. You got to commit to the bit there, no matter what is on the other side of it. So, with the rewards on that one, it could be a more sought out here as UNSW Raw could push up towards the mission vehicle into this one. They're trying to wall them out. It might not work though, as Nuva goes down first here. Good from Anthony onto that one, and looking for more around the front as well. They're just getting pelted down with damage right here. And UNSW Raw need an answer.
And we're going to need something to come out of the Squirrel Girl here. Nuva as well, swapping over to a Moon Knight. So, wanting to have to deal with that group pretty effectively. Sune, though, able to get going on this Daredevil a little bit. A little more free-flowing now as they have to defend it out here. Resh forced to fall back towards the corner of the wall. Buddy Barrier also going to be popped up by Frost here. So, we're going to top them up with the jet stream that comes through. UTS starting to lose a little bit of their space, but they've got those ultimates starting to build. Matt, it's Jeff coming through from Lick. Could be good. Looking for the Swallow, only able to find one. It's Wash, taken away, kidnapped by Lick. Getting chased down by Daryl Banner's like, give me back my strategist. Give him to me. And Exile's going to come through. Daryl Banner, Amplifier, and Strangling Prison. UTS immediately turning the fight back on its head after what felt like a lost cause for them.
Yeah, it felt like UNSW would be able to pour ahead of that one, but no, UTS take advantage of the circumstances there and will be able to further their pursuit here. So, be able to take it easy for a second, but UNSW, they're right on the edge of a few ults to their name again here. So very interested in how things will go when the Stampede comes out there. That Devil Beast Rampage from Frost and more where that follows through. I think they might be going for the Groot Knight combo in a second, I can't lie. I think that's one of their most enabling factors, and if they can lock that in, it would be a fantastic way to push ahead. Here we go, locking it down, Tone. They zone it in, and we'll be able to shut down most of UTS there. They fall down like dominoes, and they're going to be able to string it together, committing 3 ults to that fight, but if they can get the checkpoint, it's all worth it.
Yeah, if they can wall off UTS here, it's more than assuredly worth it. Sune, so high up, gets seeded there by Resh, a sniper on the Groot, it would seem. Squirrel Girl also going to be thought about too. We can see the Rampage coming through from Frost as well, trying to kidnap Mickey, trying to take them away from the fight that ensues. But the rest of UTS have come through here. Groot Wall is blocking off lines of sight. Sune unleashing now on this Daredevil is all over Nuva. Nothing really he can do. BRB going to be broken here. UNSW rolled their force back here. Well played from UTS.
Yeah, well done, well played onto that one. They maintain composure, and now Daryl Banner to be on top of things here. They've lost Anthony, though. BRB brings them back, so it doesn't matter if they lose one. It's a problem if they get lost again. For now, though, Albana going down. They're not going to be able to come back this time around, so UTS just going to have to get through it with sheer willpower. And now a CYA save the day.
Yeah, the CYA to bring him back in with that amplified damage. It is going to be soon swallowed up here by Lick, so Portal denied here, while the rest of UNSW Raw have to win the fight out without Lick, and it is going to be 3 quick KOs secured. Soon is back in the fray, doesn't get spat off the map, but it doesn't matter. Frost and Resh will cover. That's another time to the time bank here for the time stream of UNSW Raw. We'll still see Yu Wang fighting up front here, trying to take out a few of these backside players from UTS. And Yu Wang, it's interesting that he's opting to bring out all of these wacky picks here for UNSW Raw.
Yeah, I gotta admire the creative process here, you know, because in today's situation, you wouldn't expect a Spider-Man all the time, if not much of ever. I love this flank coming through from Jaysune, but they do give themselves away fairly quickly there. I don't know if they should have let it cook a little bit more, just keep scouting for their team, you know, but they would have been spotted eventually, I suppose. Rez will be the first one down, though, and Agamotto coming out around the back as well, trying to lock them in place to clear things through. Frost goes down, so it's working out now. They're looking pretty solid on the defense, Tony, but they've still got time on their side.
And still got plenty of time to play with. There's going to be a few ultimates available as well here. Strangling Prison with Final Judgment could be deadly. And UTS are going to have to be cautious of that one soon. Doesn't have that Agamotto. We'll see. Yeah, immediately Strangling Prison into the Final Judgment. It is going to be Nuva coming down from the high ground to let those guns sing. And they are doing a orchestra of damage. It's a Pensa from Nuva. And that is UTS. That's what they had to look out for. And Nuva hops back on his trusty steed. Back to war they go here for UNSW.
Yeah, straight back online here, and they've got a couple of ults to play with as well, playing into the symbiotic shenanigans there, and it's time for the Devil Beast Rampage. But speaking of Rampages, Final Judgment coming through. Lick does have the It's Jeff here, so can create a bit of distance if required. CYA coming up as now for Washed, but Washed is down. So too will it be in a second here. So both teams trying to gain those early advantages. It's now getting some favor onto UTS here. Doing what they can to try and trickle things down, but losing Mickey could be a problem, one and the same. UNSW, though, just over 30 seconds, Tony. What can they do to make their dreams come true?
Yeah, the dreams of the 2-0 still loom on the horizon for UNSW. UTS, the dreams of that third map still potential. Resh finds his target. It's Washed in the backside there. Dove by Yu Wang as well. Frost taking out Anthony, so that's 2 down, out of commission, make it 3. UTS are bleeding numbers now here to UNSW Raw. Yu Wang still up and still kicking. He's still fighting the good fight. It's a fist on towards the back of Soon. Jaysune now trying to make something happen here onto Jeff, but Jeff is a slippery target to deal with. Anthony is back in the fray, finds Yu Wang, and time goes OT now, Matt. And UTS are back from the portal of Mickey.
Yeah, back on a line, back in check here. Speaking of Nuva, forced to pay respect there. Sune putting up the pressure, one and the same. Everybody he focused down almost entirely. Mickey just want to fall there. Feast of the Abyss up front onto this one. Taking it slow, taking it easy. They need to find a way through this. Frost. Oh, Evo-ing their way through there. Will be able to get the show on the road, but the Devil Beast Rampage Stampede shutting down Anthony there. And looking for more around the side of this one. All the KOs now come together here. Mickey's bringing out the Iron Fist. Desperate times call for desperate measures. The Devil's coming out as well from Jaysune there. It's Jeff to come over the top, Tony, and they have all but locked it down. The time's ticking here, and there it is. UNSW, clean pursuit, and get it done in 2.
Yeah, that was a clean game. It was a little bit worrisome towards the end there, but they found those quick KOs necessary, and I have to give credit to Yu Wang. Definitely was the player that I was eyeing up there in that museum map, especially once he swapped off the Squirrel. The Squirrel didn't really have its the Yu-Wang factor that we expected. Got onto the Spider-Man, and the 3-2-1s from him and Resh were absolutely insane to see. And again, just UNSW Raw, it's to credit the coordination from this side. They just, the 3-2-1s with the dive from Yu-Wang, and then just Nuva holding it down with Frost as they kind of trample through this UTS side. And I have to give credit to UTS though, Matt. They tinkered with the compositions a little bit. They didn't fall victim to the Nuva Psylocke as well, and showing some good adaptations overall in the band draft, I'd have to say.
Yeah, they did a pretty good job so far, haven't they? You know, I like the flexibility coming through from them there. It showcases that they've got some strengths that they're looking to bring on forward here, and they're going to continue to do that all the way through. But regardless, a solid outcome for the UNSW side here. UTS, you know, having those moments of brilliance, but weren't able to lock it down in the end there. So, close, but not close enough. Certainly eager for future endeavors coming forward. But for now, Tony, that's going to be a clean start to the evening for UNSW Raw. 2-0 to their name, and yeah, this is a great way to set the tone, I suppose.
Yeah, still undefeated overall. UNSW Raw, you know, there's only like 1 or 2 teams that have come close to touching them, but overall in the you know, the series standings, they haven't dropped a series. And for UTS, that was probably, you know, the team to do it. That was the team that we probably expect to have the most likelihood of taking away a game against UNSW Raw, but they didn't, unfortunately. And well, for UTS, they're gonna have to be looking towards brighter pastures. UNSW Raw has to still feel like they're the kings of the castle.
Yeah, gotta be the kings of the castle and gotta do everything they can to stay there at the top of the tower. But speaking of the tower, we are gonna be powering our way through towards another series right on the other side of this, everybody. Don't go anywhere. welcome back, everybody! AEL University Elite Series coming at ya with QUT taking on Monash Mutants with Mancy and Dab Tony. And Tony, these players are pumped up and ready to get down to business.
Oh, absolutely. Amplified volume to its max, Matt. QUT and the Monash Mutants, another top of the table battle for you. QUT, it's Rexy, Ashtrays, Juicy, Aradet, Talisman, and Fox. And of course, for the side of Monash Mutants, it's Wosh, Pikachu, Joji, Dixon 99, Wal, and Rin Lashida. Matt, some very impressive names on both these teams. Of course, we've seen a few of them play as well recently. You know, look at Wosh and Joji. You know, just finishing off their MII season, probably not where they were expecting.
No, I don't think, a lot of people were expecting them to get the third placement there, and, you know, it's off the back of taking a series away from Juicy. So this is the Juicy revenge match coming into this one, so there's going to be a bit of a storyline there, you know. After they were probably not very happy, maybe they can be happy at the other end of tonight, taking away a potential victory here with Rexy alongside them. So, going to be very excited to seek out a bit of revenge, let's say. And I think I can speak that for Rexy and Juicy. You know, JFT taking things away from both of them. So, Wosh and Joji, watch out. They're coming. Speaking of, looks like we're going to Celestial Husk for our first map there. So, going to be excited to play a bit of domination to kick things off. You know, one of our Clintar-based maps there on Celestial Husk.
Yeah. It feels like we see Clintar a lot, especially domination. We don't get to really make it to the symbiotic surface all too much, Matt, unfortunately. But Celestial Husk is always a treat to watch, and I imagine this game is going to be a treat to watch. QC Monash Mutants pretty heavily, you know, stacked up in terms of the standings at the moment, and you know, both these teams, as you said, a little bit of juicy revenge could be on the cards here as well. Rexy, I imagine they're both, you know, chopping it up in the call right now, wondering how they're going to best counteract Wosh and Joji, because we saw the Monash Mutants where they a lot of their strong suits were that dive combination of Wosh and Joji.
Yeah, they just synergize so well around one another. You know, there's a reason that these two play together and play together extremely well in all forms of competition there. But speaking of playing well, we do see Wosh's cap going to be protected there for Monash, and the Talisman going to be happy with that as well if they can keep it. But a Lunar Band potentially could be in order here. So interesting to see no focus around the Dinosaur. There we go, though. With the no Dinosaur Protect, it will be banned out. So QUT can go for the single-sided Dinosaur, and and so immediately they're going to lock that one in. Does leave the flexibility open to Monash now to maybe ban out one of the strategists there, or otherwise could see the Dinosaur, or rather, could see, something else banned through there. There you go. Loki's gone.
Yeah, Loki getting taken out a little bit early in the piece, at least for Monash, though, keeping that Captain America online. Cap has been pretty good, you know, it's not like ultra busted like Devil Dino is, but it's also not super weak. Like, Cap definitely in the hands of Wosh as well has looked pretty comfortable, and allows a lot of the dive-centric plays here for Monash Mutants. Taking away Ashtray's Hulk, though, is a very interesting one. A little bit of a target ban coming out from the Mutants. One and the same, though. Phoenix getting it taken away from the Mutant side. They're not going to be too worried, though. As we've seen, Dixon Joji can play a lot of the duelists that are in the pool at the moment. And I've definitely seen how flexible Joji can be. That Black Cat's always a scary pick if it does come through here.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a terrifying concept, isn't it? You know, they can ban away the Phoenix, but I mean, if they aren't banning anything else, it's going to be still open season for Monash onto this one. Daredevil getting protected by QUT, though, so likely going to see that one go towards Juicy here, I'd say. You know, we've seen them play into a bit of Daredevil before, and it looks like Daredevil is going to be banned away against Monash there. So Joji immediately switching it up over to the Black Cat this time. You see Dixon bringing out the Punisher here, and You got the team up coming through from Weil and Rin Lashida there between Luna Snow and the White Fox. So good to see them playing to their strengths there. I like to see that they're playing into the... Nope, not anymore. Nope. They did have a almost double-sided team up on the QUT side if Aradet played Punisher, but not anymore. Not going to see the... Oh, there you go. So you do get the Primal Judgment there, as well as playing in to the Daredevil team up. So lots to think about. It's interesting we have Cloak and Dagger coming out for Fox, though, isn't it, Tony? Considering that hero, I'd say, is a lesser focus as a strategist this season.
Yeah, definitely with, like, you know, Mantis, Ultron still being pretty good at, like, securing, you know, a lot of early upfront damage. White Fox and Luna, unfortunately, you know, the QT don't have the luxury of playing Luna, so that's probably why Fox has gone to the Cloak, you know. Invis, you know, could have been a pick here, but you know, Cloak and Dagger, pretty good Eternal Bonds at like shutting down that die potential, especially that the Monash Mutants are going for here. Pikachu thinking about the Vanpool for just a second there, but going back to the Luna and Emma Frost team up that we get to see as well. The team up available, the Black Cat one, I believe, with the White Fox. So you want to see Monash Mutants kind of tinkering with the composition a little bit here and what they want to bring to the table in terms of team ups.
Yeah, looking to bring everything they can into it. Take it easy and slow with the flow now. Mission area open for business. Monash taking a distance here. Good freeze on the Juicy there. He's going to be isolated out by Dixon, and more to follow on this one. They pump up the damage numbers through and through. Playing into the open site there as well. Will be. Let's see what they can achieve further. Joji ready with the Helm of Hades there perhaps. Here we go, Tony. They're diving straight in. The claws are out, and they're not messing about.
Now the claws are ferocious, slashing away on towards Ashtrays on the Devil Dino. Of course, a little bit more healthier of a target, not quite easy to be taken out there, but the KO secured by Dixon. Rin Lashida as well, finding Juicy once again. Struggling to get going on this Daredevil already here, you know, 2 engagements and Juicy not really able to come out on top of that one. Talisman gonna be rocking away with the Captain America, but well placed there on that fight. Monash Mutants just playing in that bunker towards the backside of things. You know, playing a few different angles as well that QUT probably weren't expecting, but back to the fight here. Reset happens back towards the point. Aradet will be still on that. Some could be pretty good at shutting down a few quick KOs. Final Judgment already built up here by Dixon's going to let that one flurry upon the point. Not going to be able to find anyone. They're all fighting in this right room here, and Kumio Unleashed coming out from Rin Lashida.
Yeah, we'll be able to bring it out there. QUT can look to match them, though. There we go. Rexy playing at a delay there, but we'll be able to set the record straight. Aradet catches Weil as well, so down to only one strategist here. Monash in trouble. No one remains. Eternal Bond coming out as well. So this further solidifies the approach now from QUT onto this one. Should be able to burn their way through, and we'll be able to lock it in. But I gotta say, Tony, without the opposing strategists online there, do you feel like the Eternal Bond was overcooking it a bit?
Yeah, it definitely feels like a little bit of a overcommitment from QUT, but I guess whatever wins them the fight, right? Wosh did use that Captain America ultimate to try and stall and stabilize the rest of Monash Mutants, but nobody else really was there to help out. Juicy, once again on this Daredevil, trying to get something to happen, but gets shut down again. Rin Lashida using this White Fox pretty comfortably. Calling card comes out from Joji. He's going to be on towards the backside of things. Fox gets taken out immediately, and we'll see a few ultimates traded back end song, and we'll see the Rampage too. Aradet has found a KO in return, but Dixon playing pretty comfortably in this backside. Nobody really dealing with Dixon other than the Devil Dino. Fate of both worlds into now the Devil time coming through from Juicy. Trying to shut down this Luna. Trying to shut down this White Fox. And Juicy, with the help of Ashtrays, are able to make the fight theirs. But Monash Mutants are still building percentage here with the players they have on the point.
Yeah, they're holding firmly on their control there. We'll be able to shut down Juicy in the meanwhile as well. So continually contending against them here. QUT not able to solidify control. Should be able to stroll into it. No! They're still just tapping away at the mission area here and continually building themselves up, Tony. So I love the discipline from Monash onto this. And now they're looking to run it back in the clash as well. Whoosh finds the opening KO there. Pikachu here will be able to start the show with the Sonic Seduction. Not going to be able to capture much from it though. Good that they zone their way around these corners, but I mean, if they don't keep one on the point, then you're just going to end up in this situation, aren't you? We have Monash taking it away that first capture point comfortably. That's going to be the Celestial Hand now closed, and the vault is open for business.
Yeah, the hand reaching out here for the side of Monash, saying QT, give us your best. They're going to be bringing a few different things to play here. Aradet now probably going to be on towards the Punisher. We'll see Rexy on the Jeff potentially here. For mutants, you know, we looked at Wosh and Joji as the two highlight players, right? Of course, Ignite seasoned veterans here, of course, as well. AEL seasoned veterans. We've seen Wosh and Joji quite a bit here in the AEL map, but I was very impressed with how Dixon played that one. Very more kind of positioned safely with that Punisher, just out of lines of sight there, and just able to get so much damage across there with that rifle. And as well, Riddler Sheeta picking up pick after pick there on Juicy, really shutting down that Daredevil from getting going.
Here we go. Gonna be getting in to the swing once again. Aradet pumping up the damage from afar here. Dixon playing around the shield though. Good to utilize some of their teammates' abilities here. One of the same is Whoosh. Trying their best to stay bouncy on this one. We'll be able to dive around the back there. Juicy are trying their best to complement their own team here, but nobody is able to zone ahead yet until now. Dixon ready, waiting. Now Slate's ahead with the final judgment here. Playing the lines of sight, but one in the same. It is going to be QUT playing around the angles, but it doesn't even matter. They catch them off guard in the end there. Dixon going to be able to lock it down for 4, and the tour hasn't even finished. The Talisman now on the receiving end of even more damage here, but they will be forced onto the escape at the climax of that one, Tony. So, QUT going to be in an uncomfortable place now.
And I have to respect the target focus there from Dixon. He wanted to find the strategist, not the vanguard that was right in front of him. Normally, he could have probably just focus fired ashtrays out there, but he took his time with it. He really kind of scaled around that side of the tree. Kumiho unleashed here on the higher ground. Brendan Sheeta's not going to let them even breathe for the moment. We'll see Rexy swallow up ashtrays to keep them safe for the moment. Juicy fighting wild, but still KOs coming across the board here for the Monash Mutants. Joji a little bit too deep. Dixon also might have to fall back here and stabilize because they can't be committing too many members now towards this aggressive play.
Yeah, they're going to be in a bit of trouble, aren't they? But will be a big commitment from QUT here to lock down the double. Monash again, though, they're just playing this stall composition, you know, utilizing their angles, playing to bring around the Rosie as Whoosh right now. They're just having a field day. It's like they're on the merry-go-round around this mission area right now. And Chochi, all in the same, you know, they're just chilling, having a good old time. They built up a ton of percentage there, but eventually all good things must come to an end. So, QUT will be able to lock it down, and they are hunting Joji right now. My goodness, that's a heavy focus there. They're going to have a long walk back, Tony.
Yeah, it's going to be quite a walk back here for Monash Mutants, and well, they'll take up on the high ground themselves. And QUT actually not having to play too far up. They don't have to control a bunch of the space, especially with the fact that they've got that Devil Dino. They're just kind of sitting comfortably. Final Judgment coming through here. Dixon's just trying to walk it up here. Isolator pick on towards the strategist here, but the boundary coming back from Fox denies that Judgment from doing anything. Calling card coming out from Joji on the dash forward there from Whoosh, but not really able to get a lot of success out of that one with the fact that the Freedom Charge comes back from Talisman to keep everybody healthy.
Yeah, keeping them up and ready. Knock things down. It's Juicy right now. Devil coming out. Big focus on the back line here. They need to peel for their strategist. Otherwise, they're going to be locked away. Good to play into more on that one. Joji will be able to respond back in kind, though. And it is going to be Monash pulling it through onto that one and getting control back. QUT forced to regroup, retreat, and look to see if they can get the control all back in their favor. One in the same. It is going to be a Pikachu with the Psionic Seduction at the ready. Definitely can look to turn the tide to this one. Let's see. They're going to break it in.
Shots coming through from Dixon. Perfect tracking there. Able to find Aradet. And now the rest of mutants are all over it. Psionic Seduction coming through here just to take Rexy out and dogpile on towards the Jeff. That's all on their lonesome talisman as well. Going to get chased down. Whoosh, Pikachu now. They'll continue to walk up. Portal's going to be attempted here by Juicy, but not quick enough. It is going to be Monash mutants shutting it down in 2. Nothing really of answer from QUT. Matt, a little bit of point percentage here or there, but just felt like the mutants came out to play in this first one.
Yeah, I love the discipline all the way through from them, right? Even if they lost a player or two, they just played sustainability. If they had control over the mission area, they made sure to maintain course as long as they possibly could. They stayed mobile, stayed agile, and QUT struggled to kind of track them down a lot of times there. So as a result, Monash just playing for time, playing for objectives, and it worked out fantastically. Speaking of fantastic, though, you can see some fantastic stats coming online onto this one. Whoosh actually taking away the MVP there on the Captain America. Got to respect it, you know, considering how much impact they had in maintaining control over those capture points there. Doing a really solid work. Juicy, one of the same. You know, well-rounded onto that one, making some great strides when they played into the Daredevil there. And going to, keep things very well impactful for them and theirs. So you can see a clear trend, I guess, between some of the high-impact players in terms of the final hits there, you know, across both teams. Joji making good waves there. Dixon 99, one in the same. Aradet doing some pretty good work as well. Juicy, it's all good and well. But obviously, you can't discount our strategists here also, Tony. You know, they put in some really solid work across both teams there, and I think that they definitely deserve their flowers as well.
Yeah, some great accuracy from Rexy there, 76% on the Jeff. Pretty comfortable keeping QT up, of course, and yeah, while Rin Lashida as well. A lot of playmaking there with Rin Lashida on the Kumiho, just kind of popping that one in that choke room towards the low ground on that first point, and then really aggressively popping it on the high ground there to continue the pace and continue that confidence rolling forward here through from the side of Monash.
Yeah, and speaking of rolling through, we're going to be rolling into our second map, and where do you think it is, Tony? You'd expect nothing less. It's Museum of Contemplation again! The O special, the Asia special, it's back and in a big way. I love it, you love it, we cannot get enough of it. Let's go, Tony! We're moving on up, moving on in to Museum there. You know what I want to see? You know what I want to see eventually, Tony? Lower Manhattan, that's what I want to see. Love that map.
Lower Manhattan.
Later on into the piece there, I'd love to see Lower Manhattan.
Yeah, no, Lower Manhattan's an interesting one because I guess it kind of plays very similar to Museum, where there's a lot of lines of sight that you have to be careful of. It's a lot more vertical though, so it probably lends to a little bit more of the Flyers style of meta, right? Torch, Ultron, and potentially Iron Man as well sometimes in there. But yeah. Lower Manhattan will be a fun one to see if we see it. But yeah, going back to Museum, I imagine we'll see probably pretty similar compositions from both these two teams. Devil Dino, definitely probably on high priority here for the likes of QUT. Monash, though, they could opt to ban it this time around. And you know, they maybe want to give it a crack themselves. We've seen what JFT can do with that one over in Ignite. So you know, maybe they bring it here for the Monash side going into this next one.
Ooh, maybe they do. We saw QUT thinking about the single-sided Devil Dino ban there. We'll be opting in for the Mirrored Gambit all over again. It's basically like you may as well just wipe out that first ban at a lot of points, considering how much Gambit has just been folded away, you know, to the current meta. But speaking of the current meta, Monash going to be locking in the Captain America again there. So they sacrifice the Dino. They don't really care about it. You know, they're more than happy to play around it. And it will be the Dino taken away. But Monash now have the option to ban away the Dino themselves. I mean, they might look to opt in for the Hulk here. Maybe trying to minimize some of the other players' pools there. You see Ashtrays hovering over that Hulk, so it's now going to be taken away.
Yeah, Hulk getting stolen away once again. Ashtrays doesn't get to play their bread and butter. We've seen what Ashtrays is capable of on that Hulk, and Hulk's a little bit annoying to deal with. One-sided Devil Dino once again here for QUT. As well, one-sided Lunar Snow, so some very prioritized picks here. They want to put Fox back on that Luna. We want to see the Devil Dino again here from QUT. For Monash, though, as we said, a team that can play a whole bunch of different compositions, and, well, they don't have to deal with Loki. Loki's quite annoying, especially with the fact that they love to play dive, and Loki's pretty good at counteracting that.
Yeah, pretty good at keeping themselves agile and keeping themselves to, take control of their strategist lineup. But without Loki at the ready, it's going to be a big problem for them. One and the same, they aren't going to be able to play with the Black Cat here. So, Joji forced onto the Daredevil this time. You did see QUT ban out Daredevil last time. This time, putting their focus on Black Cat instead. But, I mean, the heroes kind of fulfill the same role, right? Where if you ban out the Black Cat, you have Daredevil at the ready. You ban out the Daredevil, you have Black Cat at the ready. So, in that way, why not ban something else? I don't know. Food for thought for some teams here, I suppose, but I love to see the Black Panther hover. Not going to be locked in, unfortunately. Maybe. I'll wait till we get out the gate. I'd love to see the Black Panther, but it's not going to happen. It's going to be the Black Cat instead.
Yep, Black Cat from Juicy. Aradette going to be on the Phoenix, and for the likes of Mutants. Yeah, I was going to say Pikachu on the Venom too. This could be very interesting from the side of Monash, but still going to be tinkering a little bit. Of course, Invis being up here for this one around, so Wild going to be talking about that one. The fact that Luna's not available from QUT. Going to be Luna Cloak. We've seen what Fox can do with the Luna, so it's interesting that Rexy's opting to give that one a go. And a lot of good frontline for both these sides, right? Pikachu on the Emma, and both teams rocking the cap. It allows a lot of more flexible style of play and a lot more movability around this first point.
Yeah, and they want to stay as mobile as possible, especially around this first point of contention here. I like how Pikachu is trying to play angles on this one. Now trying to just force their way in, though, in diamond form. They're getting caught into the uncomfortable angle. Will be forced to fall back pretty quickly onto this one. So Monash going to have to try and adapt around this, They're playing a KO ball style on this QUT, but now Monash are adapting around it. Rexy does catch the KO there, so they're trading blow for blow in this slugfest so far, but Monash are looking to gain a lot more territory as they've forced QUT back pretty darn far.
Yeah, they're having a retreat a little bit here. Ashtrays going to be continuing around that corner, getting the bleed out. Will kidnap Pikachu there around the corner. Has to be careful. Strategists need to be on guard here because Pikachu is low. Visible Boundary going to be forced out here from Wild. The rest of the time here, we're going to be seeing Joji using that Daredevil, using that Deflect pretty perfectly there. Dixon fighting Rexy. That's the player you don't want to lose out. So Turtle Bomb's going to have to be traded here for QUT.
They're going to have to be traded out of a blow here. We'll find Dixon and maybe more in a second. Fox be holding a steady, playing a bit close to the cut there, but is able to fall back just in time. And Psionic Seduction coming out. Could see the Devil follow suit with it if they catch anyone. Oh no, that's devastating. Whoosh, just on a rip and tear there. Lock him in place and send him out of this place, Tony. Monash going to be able to push it straight up there. Love to see the back of the Batsmobile as well. DP loves the Bats. You love to see it, Tone, but they should be able to hone in and lock it down unless a portal comes through.
Oh. And portal right in time there, and Fate of Both Worlds immediately out of the portal. We'll see Endsong Inferno. We'll see a immediate double KO there from Aradette with that Endsong. Actually, I wasn't thinking he was going to find anything with Rin Lashida using that Kumiho. We'll now see Joji frozen there, trying to let the Devil out, but we'll see Freedom Charge as well from Wosh, helping out the rest of Monash Mutants, and we'll be seeing Batons batting away here. Ashtrays at least able to find one of the Rin Lashida. There is, though, a lot of members here from Monash quite low, so Ashtrays might be able to secure a few quick KOs there. Bleeding coming out, and Dixon is back in the fray. Does not opt to pop that final judgment, opts to keep it for a rainy day. Joji and Wosh to clean him up, but it will be Rexy taken by Dixon.
Now might be a good time to stop them.
Yeah, gonna be looking pretty good at the moment, aren't they, Torren? And be looking to change direction right now. They play outside of the team-ups for QUT here. And we'll be seeing a turret come out. I think this is the first time I've seen a Punisher use a turret in a long time, Tony. So, welcome home, welcome back. I can understand why, though. Trying to lock down some of the terrain there, open up some points of contact, lines of sight, if you will. See if they can use that to their advantage. So, good to see some turret warfare. But speaking of turret warfare, it's time for the final judgment to lock in, Tony. And they are ready to come at it in a big way. But QUT doing a good job to isolate lines of sight for now. They're still losing a few members all the meanwhile, though.
Yeah, still losing a few members in the process. Dixon now wants to turn back the attention towards the Batman vehicles. Juicy's trying to get a cheeky back cap and try and stall it out here from the Monash Mutants. They continue their best foot forward. Ultimates as well starting to be charged up here. Pikachu now does have that Sonic Seduction. Talisman. Portal isn't up for another minute, so realistically, if QUT can hold it here at this choke, they will have probably Portal 4, not this fight, but the one after that. Eternal Bond will be coming through. Gonna be letting the devil out. I have Agamotto from Talisman on top of everybody there. Everybody not able to do anything. Stunned up and taken out here by QUT.
Taken out without a doubt. Juicy on an express train on this one. And we'll be able to bring a lot of pain to their disposal. So good reset for them there. They're already looking to scout ahead and see where Monash is approaching this, right? They're taking the upper ground on this. They can see Monash is trying to contend with them here. So they can stage themselves accordingly for the next fight here. Make sure they keep their lines of sight clear. And we'll be forced back to another lane here. Just playing around the mission vehicle to keep themselves out of harm's way.
And staying out of harm's way. Sonic Seduction is going to be pulling everybody into harm's way there towards the right-hand side of the wall here. Song Inferno not going to find the impact Ariadet had on the last one. We'll see QBO as well from Rinlo Sheeta. Tons of AOE damage coming out from that Daredevil, from that White Fox, just securing these KOs so perfectly here and so quickly, just leaving Ashtrays, the last remaining member. Fate of Both Worlds comes out from Rexy to stall. And it will stall for just a little bit. They are able to focus because they're able to KO through that Fate of Both Worlds. Portal now being blocked here. Juicy has to go around the other side. Will be able to sneak on towards the strategist, and they have to be careful. Wild goes down, and so does Dixon.
Oh my goodness, adapting around the lines aside here. They're going blow for blow on this one. And somehow, some way, Tony, QUT will be able to band together and pull ahead of that. I'm in disbelief of how they managed to redeem that one. Like, don't get me wrong, it was a great opening KO there from Juicy, taking down at least one of the strategists there in Wild, but all the meanwhile, Monash were able to get some big damage too. Speaking of big damage, it's the final judgment coming in with the Freedom Charge there, so going to be able to sustain through any pain brought towards them. And we'll be looking to draw straight towards the objective there, trying their best to use the shotty to just pelt away the Vanguard and discard them accordingly. Eternal Bond coming out though now, Tony. It's OT time, Agamotto time. It's all happening.
Yeah, perfect. Agamotto from Talisman once again, but Boundary comes up perfectly just when they need it most. Joji's going to get kidnapped here by the Devil Dino. Joji doesn't get a lot of opportunity to move there with that Devil Dino shutting him out. And the Boundary's gone. The Sonic Seduction comes through, but nobody's on the Batmobile to keep it pushing forward. Monash Mutants, they're going to be stopped at just one there, but so close to the two, Matt.
Yeah, they were right on the edge of that second checkpoint there. Alas, it'll be facing the curse there. Not going to be able to push ahead to the final stretch on that one. So, unfortunately, no Doctor Strange today. Just going to see Doctor Strange instead. But now the sides flip. We'll see if the hero pool is going to flip as well. They're hovering over the Van pool there. The Venom Ashtrays thinking about where they want to go with it. Devil Dinosaur, Moon Knight. Could be anything you know, there's a lot of variety they can play into here, but looks like they have landed on the Venom for now. So Groot certainly could have been a worthy option, don't get me wrong. I think that that one could have gone a lot of good ways there, especially on defense, play around the walls, minimize that line of sight, and potentially minimize some of the healing impacts coming in for Joji, for example, or Wosh. I just, yeah, awesome strategist to play around it, but not going to be looking to do that. Instead, can play into the Devil Dinosaur here. Maybe try and get the bite through so they can isolate some of the players towards the back line there. Or they're just going to go diving. Full diving, full thriving, Iron Fist. Alright, let's get into it. It's triple duelist, Tony.
Yeah. Okay. UT having a little bit of fun with it. Maybe, you know, double dive's pretty good. Daredevil Iron Fist can really jump on top of the same target. Juicy. Just in a little bit of aura farming maybe there with Vosh. Just going toe to toe. Showing each other they're not scared. Aradet already securing that quick KO onto Joji. So that already gives QUT the opening pick that they want to continue to push this fight across and around the corner here.
Yeah, looking to push it through, lock it in. Big damage from Aradet here. Trying their best to get the stacks through on the flame there and see. Second burst ahead, it will be Dixon though. Finding a couple through.
Ooh.
Looking for more around the side here. They're focused up, locked in. Oh, not going to be able to get the KO though. The Talisman meditates in the meanwhile and will be able to heal up, but not going to happen. Monash will be able to force them as far back as possible onto this one. So they do stall out a bit of the time here. QUT on the hard reset on this one, but Monash, they aren't conceding this territory for free. I like how they're playing that first corner still here, trying to just stall the time.
Yeah, you can see that Joji's hopping up on the wall, hanging out, looking for that next fight to come through here. Juicy to spot it. Aradet as well still. Both teams opting her off the Phoenix now, so there's a lot more explosive upfront damage there. Wosh finding Rexy. Ashtrays as well getting found, but at least there's a trade back from QUT, so fight not completely lost for the moment, unless we see another one go down here. But of course they're going to be retreating towards that back corner, and again Monash stalling time once again, playing this corner perfectly.
Yeah, I love the discipline, you know, they're not overextending, they're just looking to play the initial choke point here and not give anything if they can afford to. They've now found the opening KO on a Juicy there, so they can force them back a little further if they choose to onto this one. You can see they're just picking and choosing their battles here, continuing to maintain the various lines of sight on this one, playing into a couple of the lanes there, and not looking to overdo things if they don't have to. But looks like the Devil comes out, gets locked in by the freeze there. What a reaction from Rexy. The Eternal Bond is forced out in kind there from the boundary. And Song Inferno's coming out. It's the Kumio Unleashed, Tony. Everything is coming out of this fight.
Yeah, everybody using ultimates, pop cooldowns now and try and stir the fight into their favor. Juicy finding Dixon. Now Monash are on the back foot, but Wosh in the meantime, he's on the back of the Batsmobile. He's kind of just hanging out. Could just use that freedom charge if he wants to, just to stall it a little bit longer, but opts against it. But a sneaky play from Wosh actually, you know, grants a few extra seconds to the rest of the Monash mutants to get back towards that mission vehicle.
Yeah, playing to stall again and again there, making sure the wheels on the bus won't go round and round. We'll be keeping things on the ground there. So, gonna be looking to hit the ground right now, stampeding through with the Devil Beast Rampage, forcing out the freedom charge onto this one on both sides, it would seem. Monash still just gonna hold through. Sonic Seduction trying to get on the edge of this one, see if they can pry him up, and it's damage central onto this. They managed to get a few critical KOs there. Body barrier at least are going to layer them through a little bit longer, allowing Juicy to now have a bit more freedom to try and go for KOs of their own, hone in on their talents here. Does work out, but they've had Dixon unaccounted for. Can that double KO through? So Monash going to be more than happy to defend here, forcing out the portal play from Aradet, Tony. They're trying their best to try and cancel it. Look at this. They're getting closer and closer. Now looking to play the line of sight.
Yeah, no, Monash, you saw critical HPs there from 2. Those KOs could have come pretty quickly if they weren't able to fall back and get popped up by the strategist. Ashtrays going to be able to find pick and shoot, but the rest of them are slowly losing their HP bars and slowly losing their progress as OT ticks, and it's all of the KOs going over to Monash. It's Joji with the batons beating them to a pulp. Matt QUT so close, but so far. They will lose out Museum of Contemplation in just a narrow fashion there. 20 meters separated those two teams at that end.
Yeah, incredible work coming through from them and theirs onto that one, Tony. Very impressed how they managed to hold themselves together. Joji gonna be the MVP on to this one.
Ooh.
And I think they're going to be using the new Daredevil costume there as well. So, haven't tried my luck at that balloon event yet, but maybe I will later. Maybe I'll use every role again. Probably. Oh,
yeah. It's unfortunate. I've definitely had my fair share. I believe I cracked it the other day, and yeah, I had to use all of the roles, Matt. So Lady Luck wasn't smiling for me either. But for Monash, can we call it luck or can we call it skill, right? Super added adaptability here being shown from them, going for that one-sided White Fox, and it paid dividends for them. I definitely felt like Rin Lashida again having a lot of impact there with those Kumihos. When we thought the fight was going to be swaying towards QUT's favor, we saw Rin Lashida pop that White Fox ultimate and it really had its effects. Of course, we can sing our praises about Joji, but it was, again, the strategist for me, Matt, that really impressed here from Monash tonight.
Yeah, they did so much work in order to sustain their team through a lot of the fights there. You know, Rin Lashida bringing out some great work for them and theirs there. But, I mean, it's not their strategists only that made the impact. I saw Rexy42 get some great freezes in a lot of instances there, denying a lot of potential for Monash in some of the instances there. You know, I remember when Joji activated Let the Devil Out, got froze instantly and KO'd out of the game. So it's great focus fire like that can turn the tide of a lot of fights there. So very impactful stuff coming through on both sides of the coin on this one. You know, both teams putting in the hard yards here, albeit 2-0 in Monash's favor, but certainly a very competitive series even still.
As well, you speak about the freeze onto Joji there from Rexy, as well. Ashtrays getting their lick as well in that one, kidnapping Joji in one of those engagements and just not letting him do anything. And you saw the fights that QUT were able to win were the fights they shut down Joji completely. But then, of course, we saw a little bit out of Dixon as well. He really came into his form here on the Phoenix. And I was as well impressed with how Dixon played in this series as well. The strategist, Dixon, you know, very, very comfortable in this Monash side.
Yeah, playing into their roles very comfortably there, you know, playing into their own, just in their element entirely. Very happy to see how they've managed to hold it all together there. But alas, you can see why there was a big priority over that Captain America Protect for Woj there.
Absolutely.
You know, 2 games in a row, and yeah, they just play that one to a T. So very impressed with what they managed to hold together, especially on that cart stall there. You know, love to see that one. Always having a bit of a fun time. But speaking of fun times, we're going to be locking in more fun times right on the other side of this break, everybody. Next series coming at you soon. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to AEL University Elite Series, proudly brought to you by AGON by AOC, the #1 gaming monitor brand in the world. AGON by AOC provide best-in-class monitor solutions for gaming and all other needs.
And of course, as well, got to shout out HyperX and Officeworks. Power your game with the latest HyperX gear at Officeworks. Push performance to the limit with the latest in gaming tech, from high spec to precision gear. Officeworks has what you need.
Yeah, they certainly do, Tony, and a big shout out to Indomie, noodle partner. Made with high quality flour and selected ingredients and spices, a plate of Indomie mee goreng will certainly brighten up your day. Try any one of the flavors available today from your local grocer or at indomie.com.au. So big shout out to each and every single one of our sponsors. You know them, you love them, and we appreciate their support. Yeah. Speaking of, we are going to be taking a look at our next matchup. It's going to be UNSW Hal taking on Adelaide University there. So, two teams towards the lower side of the standings here. And let's take a look at our rosters.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one. UNSW Hal, it is Nascent Monarch, Blue Orange D, Milkman 76, Chicken Salt, Joker and Escalado. And of course, for Adelaide Uni, it's Mr. Samter, Munchduck, Oblivious, Destroyer, Alice, and Beast. S-O-T-Y, Matten. I've been impressed with Beast, of course, from our last week of competition. And, well, we're into it. Krakoa. Domination, going to be an interesting one.
Krakoa. The map of many portals. I love to see it. And I'm excited to see what these two teams are going to be looking to achieve. Nascent hovering over the Gambit here. But no Gambit will be played.
Yeah. Not happening.
Just aura farming on the Gambit in the pre-hero select there. But we are going to see the Devil Dinosaur on the Protect here, so could see something else pushed forth on to this one. But just want to say, we do have Taichirou playing instead of Blue Orange Nade there on the the UNSW side there. So gonna be them subbing in this time around. So welcome in, Taichirou.
Yeah, welcome. First time we'll get to see him, Matt, and hopefully they perform well. I can already see a Lord Strange being hovered, so curious to see. A Lord Strange to me just screams aura, right? No matter what you look at, like in terms of champion icons, Strange is always one that strikes fear into me. Knowing that, a portal play could come out, something crazy could happen, and all of a sudden I've just lost the fight and I've lost the game.
Yeah, they've lose fight, lose game, but we'll see how they take aim at this one. I do like the Mantis priority here, because Mantis definitely does have a great use case even still. Outside of just being a damage boost merchant, they can also bring the speed boost in to the table as well here. So Mantis having a lot of good utility to play around. But speaking of things to play around, they're not going to be able to play around Black Cat for Adelaide Uni, and UNSW not going to be able to play a White Fox. So taking a lot of key pieces away from each other here, hovering over the Phoenix ban. It's been one of the most high priority duelists in the game at the moment, and it may yet go away, but it is going to go away. Adelaide not going to take anything away.
Oh, alright. So, I don't need all their bans, I guess. They're pretty comfortable in dealing with most things that can, be thrown their way. Both teams locking in the Devil Dino. Not going to be seeing one-sided, which is good. Both teams getting to bring that one to play here. And interesting as well that UNSW are taking away the Phoenix. I kind of respect that out of them, especially with the fact that they probably want to play into a little bit more of a damage boost comp with the Mantis and Punisher. Well, I say play into the Mantis Punisher, but Punisher's been stolen away.
Yeah, not today. Maybe. Single-sided?
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of respect it, considering how much damage the Punisher can do towards the Devil Dinosaur in particular. But I mean, being able to use Final Judgment to basically team wipe, it's just crazy how much space you can clear with just that ultimate alone. So taking that single-sidedly there for Adelaide Uni actually could make some pretty good strides there.
Yeah, it's a pretty good one-sided pick here as well. UNSW Hal going to be getting in that one-sided Mantis for themselves. And a lot of strong things still opened up. Of course, the Daredevil going to be thought about here by Alice. And, well, Luna in the piece as well. BRB beacons for Nascent could be pretty good here. A lot of strong stuff in play, Matt. That's the, I guess, the thing about Marvel Rivals is there's a lot of strong heroes still left up even after the ban drops. Yeah.
Yeah, it really is just a give and take situation with every draft, right? It's what you're willing to sacrifice towards your opponent there. Where what you're willing to play against, really. You know, you can give them a lot of strengths there. You can give them best of both worlds. That was a big crosshair. My goodness. Yeah. But we are going to be jumping into this one. You know, I can picture them just, it's so big because they're looking to take big bites, you know, on that little dinosaur there. Yeah, that's the mindset behind it. 100%. Keen to see if there's some tail swipes coming through as well. Always love to see the creative plays, don't you?
Yeah, it's interesting that Devil Dino, of course, being so prominent in the meta, you get to see how different teams play it. And well, Taichiro, we thought about the strange, goes over to the mag here, so maybe opting for a little bit more of a defensive approach. Yeah, both teams opting to swap over to the Magneto, not getting any crazy portal plays off early, and well, Oblivious gonna be riding that Devil Dino already into battle. The trusty steed with the buddy barrier will keep, of course, both of them pretty healthy. And I guess that's the luxury of having a Devil Dino on your team. It's a strange but with a bigger AoE shield.
Yeah, and it's surprising to me that both teams are opting in for the Magneto, considering with the buddy barrier, it basically minimizes the impact of Meteor M there. But I mean, playing around the Bulwark shield there on both sides is pretty good to align alongside the buddy barrier. So I guess there's give and take in terms of the utility on this one. Picking up Oblivious. Going to be just crawling their way through at the moment. No one able to get as much damage as they would require yet, but UNSW doing a pretty good job. You know, they're following suit with similar plays to what we saw from Monash earlier, where they're just stalling out the mission area. Not really too worried about getting KOs, just playing life on this one.
They're just playing heavy into the neutral. Nobody has ultimates up here yet. Milkhead will get taken out, and there goes the boundary, and finally we'll see Adelaide Uni raw to life here as they find themselves some opening picks, and they find themselves the point. Oblivious had such an interesting off angle there on towards the stratus of the likes of UNSW. How it was only a matter of time before, you know, that damage all really started to stack up, and now we can see Alice and Mr. Sampt are going to be playing pretty far forward here, trying to isolate a quick KO before they even get back to the point potentially.
Yeah, I mean, if you can get a staggered out KO like that, it'd be perfect, right? But I think all they're trying to do right now is just scout for their team. So then they can kind of stage themselves for the next fight. Then Alice might be able to catch them off guard on the back line of a fight there. If their team takes it up the front, for example, like that. Yeah, see, the focus is up front there. They managed to dive into the strategist line there. But, oh my goodness! It's the freeze into the sedate there. I love the reactions from our strategists here.
Yeah, the strategist players have something to fear in the Uni League here, and it is going to be Amplifier taken out by the Final Judgment. Oblivious knows what they want to do, and they want to take out that ultimate immediately here. It is going to be Chicken Salt walking back here with Milkman. They're having a patty cake each other here. Just so much upfront pressure here coming from Adelaide Uni. UNA is going to be able to kidnap Chicken Salt, drags him towards the backside of the team, isn't going to be securing the KO. That goes to Beast, but again, the Beast here is Ewan on this Devil Dino, Matt, and it's still doing wonders. We'll see Endsong and as well the Soul Resurgence here from UNSW. How just try to walk out.
Trying to walk out and trying to lock it in, but it's going to be Adelaide taking complete control here, strolling through. BRB not really going to be enough to save UNSW onto this one, as Adelaide Uni just stampede their way forward, speed ahead, and play in to their strength to a T here. So the only thing that UNSW can do right now, try and play for a stall perhaps. I don't even know if they have a portal in them. Looks like they might. Toucheroo's trying to switch into it. They're going to need protection though if they want to get that portal off, because already, oh no, it might be contested before they can get it off, and it is not going to cook in time. So really great start from the Adelaide side there, capturing the cradle and moving on to the carousel.
Quick capture the cradle. Well, Adelaide Uni carousel we go, and well, yeah, I like the composition, right? Because it's again just a lot of upfront pressure. Even though like the Daredevil doesn't have anyone to facilitate the dive, it still does a lot of upfront damage. Does have that ability to block as well, so you're able to eat a lot of hits for this Adelaide Uni side, especially with the mag, as we saw from both sides swapping into that one. And for UNSW, how now they see the composition, they're going to be going into the Phoenix Moon Die, or maybe a Phoenix No More.
I kind of like the idea of this, because you can use the Namor to kind of distract the points of view of the enemies a little bit there with the squids coming out, you know, and it can help you pelt up the damage. But it looks like Moon Knight is going to be the switch up this time around. Now, I like this because even without Punisher at your disposal, Moon Knight is one of the solutions that you can push towards the Devil Dinosaur there, considering how easy it is to stack up those critical hits onto your enemies, and alongside an Ankh there, you're just a damage merchant through and through. And like, you already can see how quickly Nascent there is getting pushed up towards their ultimate being activatable. So curious to see how it'll all go, but it's going to be Strat Ult for Strat Ult to kick off the fight here. Nascent ready with the Moon, and we'll see if it's going to fall down.
And we'll see if it falls. Taichuru taking out Ewan pretty quickly. There's going to be Alice as well, using those batons, doing a little bit of damage, but this one's being won out by UNSW. How early on here? We'll force Adelaide Uni back. This attempt to take it out by a stray pull back there from the Milkman. And now with Hal controlling that space early, forces Adelaide Uni back. Forces them to think twice about their next approach here, because we have Khonshu available. We also have Eye of Agamotto. These are a lot of explosive ultimates that come through from Hal if they walk up a little bit too hastily here if you're Adelaide Uni.
Yeah, going to be trying their best to keep themselves on a track here. Oblivious not really going to be able to get much from that, to be honest. I like how UNSW Hal there just played their angles, you know. Look to evade, see if they can parade ahead. Speaking of, the freeze from Chicken Soul unfortunately gets mitigated there by their teammates. They hit through on into the opposing Magneto, and as a result, we do see Adelaide looking to pursue this one, push ahead, and will be able to, at long last, flip the mission area under control. So, almost similar circumstances to what we saw out of the first round here. Curious if UNSW is going to be able to turn the tides, though. They got 3 ults at their disposal, but I mean, comparable to Adelaide's 5, almost 6. That's kind of terrifying, Tone.
Yeah, that's quite a lot to deal with here for the likes of UNSW Hal, but we'll see Devil out coming here from Alice, and it is going to be some quick taps here coming through. NASA going to be taken out. Fate of both worlds, keeping everybody online for the moment. They do still have the Meteor mat, so the Rampage is more than enough with the help of Alice. And Fate of both worlds, just a good measure, keeping everybody healthy and safe. And Adelaide Uni in the face of UNSW Hal. They'll take it early to them near their spawn region, and then they'll fall back.
Yeah, we'll be able to fall back with plenty of time there, Tone. So, it'll be A-OK onto that one, get control into their favour. Adelaide had to commit a few pieces there, which means the ult advantage now going to be in favour of UNSW. Almost heavily so. Alice is scouting again for their team here, so this is good. They can kind of shift focus there. See if they can capture more from it. Being caught by the Arctos problem. Oblivious now looking to activate the final judgment from a distance. I mean, I get it if you're just trying to play to keep them at a distance there, but that's about all you're going to be able to achieve. It'll be our strat ults activated in unison. Meteor popping down, not getting enough damage though to expel the dance floor. And Song Inferno on the side of that one will be able to push through with damage, but not much more. Cancellation on the Agamotto as well, Tony, and things going good on both sides.
Yeah, both teams trading KOs there. Both Lunas picking those ones up, and Khonshu available. Immediately going to be thought about here from NASA, and it is going to be in a pretty good spot here to shut out Adelaide Uni. That's 2 on the double from NASA, making potentially a triple. The Devil Dino going to be picking him up and spitting him out. Escadoon going to be able to find that one back, though, and UNSW How will claim the point back. But still, percentage here for Adelaide Uni, 89 to now. UNSW starting to build up, and not going to have to think about the portal just yet. It's not in that portal territory.
Yeah, no need at the moment, but that moment could be before us very quickly here. Consult and Co. just playing from the sides right now. Ewan in a bit of trouble here. Now looking to force their way in, and it's going to be the Stampede. Devil Beast Rampage locked in, and more to follow from Adelaide Uni here as they will be able to push ahead, spread their reach. There will be control gained for them now. UNSW, all they can hope for is maybe a last-second touch here from Milkman. But, yeah, no. Not going to happen. They got close, just not close enough.
Yeah. It was a valiant effort. That's only flying through air with the Spider-Man showing the movement off. But, yeah, Adelaide Uni picking it up into Hero Kikoa. Matt, a very close showing. Like, I can't really doubt UNSW's abilities at the moment. Adelaide Uni just were able to get it across there at the final side of things. And Munchduck earning a well-deserved MVP, only getting casualtied once there. So strategist staying out of the lines of fire and keeping the team up.
Yeah, keeping them up and ready to give their absolute best here. So, zero complaints from me there, Tony. Gonna be happy with that. Speaking of happy, though, Alice going to be happy to be the final hit merchant onto this one. 14 to their name here. The MVP, though, going to be put down to Munchduck this time. So, as we were talking about before, you know, going to be the strategists taking the trophy on this one. So, good job from them and theirs. GG, well played. And that's map 1 in Adelaide's favor. Going to be very happy with that.
They're going to be very excited with a win of their board. Gives them some confidence, of course, going into this next one. And, you know, we haven't received word, but still could be museum, Matt. We've seen a lot of museum
not again.
for tonight so far. So could be that way. But, of course, there's a lot of
curse.
It's the OS curse, yeah. The Asia, the Pacific curse. Yeah. Everybody loves to play museum in the Asia
Get out
Pacific
of the museum.
Region. Get out of the museum. Take us somewhere else. Take us somewhere more exciting. We got to see Yggdrasil Path from, I believe it was UTS, and that was exciting. I had fun there watching Yggdrasil Path last week.
Yeah, I had fun watching it as well. You know, even if it is one of those classic maps, we've seen a lot of it in the past. Now it kind of feels like a breath of fresh air. So it's great that we are going to be running it back in that direction right here, right now.
Yeah, I might have predicted it, Matt. And you know what? I'm a ball mower, apparently. Yggdrasil Path, pretty fun one. It allows a lot of different, I guess, compositions, right? Because you can play the triple, the triple strategist, triple vanguard, to hold it down, or you can just bring the standard 2-2-2. You can bring a penny, which, you know, a few of these teams haven't gotten to see a lot of penny from them yet. So maybe penny devil dino composition here could be crazy.
Yeah, we could go somewhere with it. I can see the potential. You don't see too much penny these days, but I mean, this is one of the maps where you certainly could have that opportunity here. I love how Alice was hovering over the rogue as well. You know, we saw the first, maybe first and only rogue in Ignite the other day when Gambit was let through once. So I feel like that's the only time you see rogue anymore, right? Yeah. And I mean, it's similar to like Angela. The only time you probably see Angela anymore is if Devil Dinosaur just isn't in the game at all. So, yeah, it's interesting to see the shifts in hero directions coming through here. But once again, single-sided Devil Dinosaur there, single-sided Punisher, Black Cat gone as well, and Invis going to be single-sided as well. So just trading hero for hero here, Tony.
Yeah, a lot of single-sided band drafts here this evening for a lot of these teams, just knowing what they want and knowing what they don't want to have to deal with here. And yeah, Devil Dino for one side, and Devil Dino not for the other side. Unfortunate to see, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles. Punisher for one side, no Punisher for the other. The trade-off in the bands, right, Matt? You get one good pick, but you don't get them all.
Nah, you can't get them all, unfortunately. Not enough heroes to make that happen, Tony. Maybe eventually, you know. Yeah. Maybe in a few years we'll have many, many more heroes to play with. Excited to see just how deep the roster goes. I feel like there's going to be limitless heroes, to be honest. My goodness. Wonder what the band draft will look like then, Tony.
Oh,
100 bands. No.
yeah, it's good. Gonna need more than a notepad to take note of all the possible band lines.
You'll need a book.
But yeah, I'm gonna need a whole novel.
Multiple chapters.
Multiple chapters.
Chapter 1, the Tony incident.
Maybe I need like one of those like interactive whiteboards where I can like, circle and like zoom in and zoom out to really get the whole band draft picture in my head.
I'm getting some ideas of what Spider-Man's looking to do in my head right now, Tony. Mr. Samter, ready to try and isolate the strategist line here. I'm not going to be able to really do much with it, so instead of sending them out of orbit into Mars, they're still back on Earth here.
Yeah, a little bit of a humbling. It happens, right? Sometimes you miss input. And Spider-Man's one of those characters that's like very mechanically intensive, so if you miss an input, it's like, yeah, that combo just doesn't happen after that. Mr. Samter, he goes for another dive in the pool. Tries to find that Mantis, but Milkman's pretty safe for the rest of the squadron here. The Punisher still being brought to play here for UNSW is going to be shot out there. Blade going to be getting that one with the pistol of all things, man. I don't think you ever see a Blade take out a Punisher at a range like that.
Yeah, no, not really, Tony. It's interesting to see the pistol getting some good use there. But I mean, in the seasons recently, they've got a lot of power there, so yeah, gonna be interesting to see what's going on. But yeah, Spider-Man doing their best to set up some KOs here, Tony. But yeah, not finding the success they're after. At least they're helping their teammates out, though. I've got to give them props in that direction, at the minimum.
Oh, Ewan going to be caught on the outskirts here. Blade ultimately being thought about here for Alice. It's interesting approach here from Adelaide Union. They still have the members to push this one forward. We will see 1,000-fold slash. We'll see Oblivious take out Milkman, and Mr. Samter still being a menace. Meteor is going to be hitting on towards the Luna. Mr. Samter's just going ham there on the rocket. Bassett's like, what did I do to this guy? He's all over me. Eskidoo and the rest of UNSW are able to stabilize here on the point, Matt.
Yeah, they're able to stabilize and look pretty solid on the defensive side right now, so really effective at holding down this initial choke point here. And Escudodo, they're going to be able to hold position. It's good that they can pelt up the focus over towards the Devil Dinosaur here. I realize Mr. Samter's trying to get behind them as well. Agamotto gets them at range, though. Takes them out of the fight for a second, but they aren't going to be able to shut down the KO there. Dance floor was popped in response, so really good shift in focus from UNSW. Now another Agamotto. Wow, another dance floor popped. So, going to be good reactions on both sides of this one.
That's just the luxury of bringing the Luna to play. Mr. Samter going to be taken out there, swapping off with the Spider-Man to the Psylocke. And still does the same thing. 1,000-fold slash with a big anti across the entire UNSW roster. There's going to be some slashes here from Alice, and that's going to have to form back. Chicken Salt as well, getting the upfront of all of that damage that comes out from the Devil Dino. And they're going to be continuing to push these players back in towards the spawn. UNSW How are going to have to be very safe on their next approach here, but Adelaide Uni now got their first point cap at 3 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, going to be happy to get the first checkpoint down and under there. Adelaide Uni have to do what they can to focus up on more here. UNSW still holding from a distance on this one. Looking to see if they can blow them away here. See if they can find the right play. Mr. Samter ready to try and flank, see if they can get a KO in the bank, but all they're doing for now is just distracting the line of sight, at least for the moment, keeping the strategist cautious here. Oh, be the Stampede, Devil Beast Rampage coming through though, Tone, and here we go.
Yeah, Amplifier with the final judgment. Ewan's a little bit too far forward now. Escudero gonna let that flurry of bullets come through and flood through onto the likes of Adelaide Uni. They will have to fall back and they'll have to regroup here, Matt. Nothing really much they can do, but I guess for the plus side, they had to make UNSW Hal burn that amplifier, burn that judgment, just to make something happen here on this hold.
Ooh, 1,000-fold slash now, looking to slash and dash on this one. Not going to be able to get too much value. At least they can clear space with it, though, so they can continue to add more progression on the mission vehicle. Like a motor around the back, frozen out. Poor Oblivious there, not going to be able to cook up anything here. Chicken Sword at the ready, bringing out the dance floor, though. Taking it slow, taking it steady to try and help their team sustain through this. Is matched by the boundary there. Meteor coming up as well. Dance to the Cutterfly online, but no one will fall down here. Soul Resurgence activated as well from Milkman there. Now everything all falls to place. Adelaide, they've got the dance floor at the ready if they need it. They won't be requiring it yet as Alice goes down all over again. Psionic Seduction around the back there. We'll find it on the 2-tier. Not getting the KO yet. They force out the dance floor. And it's going to be good for Adelaide to sustain through this one. Now trying to turn the tide.
Yeah, perfect dance floor coming through from Adelaide Uni when they need it most. And well, stabilizing presence, amplifier comes through, and Chiru going to be using that final judgment as well with Escudo, and it is going to be Escudo once again. It's a triple with the amplified judgment. It does too much damage, and Adelaide Uni can't do anything about it. 40 seconds now. They're going to have to regroup. They're going to have to reevaluate how they're playing this one, because UNSW, how they're just building that amp, building that final judgment so quickly, and then just completely steamrolling the fight once they have those two at their disposal.
Yeah, looking to storm ahead of this one and give it their absolute best. Will be BRB online here, so good to bring him back. The punish, 1,000-fold slash right around the back, though. Focused up on the strategist there, trying to see if they can slice through them, and it's working out a treat as it does pop through. The strategist ults on both sides now. Alice going down. UNSW are going to be very happy with that, looking to see if they can catch anyone else around the outside here. Not going to be able to glide ahead at the moment.
You're going to be walking up. Carbon Crush onto UN, but Fate of Both Worlds and UNSW how need it right now, because OT ticks and Adelaide Uni are still trying to push. Portal is available. Psionic Seduction trying to seduce these two players around the corner, and it will try to lock them down. It is going to be the Luna taking Beast Falls. Alice trying to cut and slash there with the Ansi. Oblivious to help out with the Maelstrom. And Ascent going a little bit high, trying to just get out of lines of sight and space. Meteor going to be held out here by Humper, looking for something, looking for a bang, but it won't be able to find anything here. Adelaide Uni and OT will be able to continue this one going. Matt Mr. Samter, he's back to the Spider-Man.
Back online and in a big way here, Tony. I'm ready to see what moves our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man has in store for us as they move it on over to the Magic, playing into the Chains, team up with Oblivious now. Definitely can add some value to them. We'll see if it works out, though. They are going to take it slow and steady onto this one. Alice doing the best they can onto the blade as well. Ready to show the true power of the Daywalker. But speaking of, it's going to be the final judgment walked out of this game as quick as it popped there. Alice does find Joker there, and going to see if they can push their way through further.
And Devil Dino just trying to sweep away through with the tail. It's going to be Maelstrom on top of the 1,000-fold slash from Alice. Oblivious as well, picking up on a Milkman. Adelaide Uni making this work, and Mr. Samter, you need to be careful. That machine gun does damage now. And the Deeks came through, and Mr. Samter wasn't expecting the HP to disappear that quickly. Two strategist ultimates up here for Adelaide Uni. UNSW, how, Matt? They don't have anything really to play with in this X-Fight.
No, options limited onto this one, which does mean Adelaide has an advantage here. They can look to push this one, maybe a little further along. Agromoto going to be cancelled out by the freeze there. There's been so many impressive freezes onto this one, and the turret coming out as well. Wasn't out the dance floor into the Darkchild there. Mr. Samter trying their best to slice their way through. We'll be able to get a lot of damage, but not enough to focus down that turret. No one helping them there. And the results speak for themselves as now UNSW look to force them out of the fight just as quick.
Yeah, boundary going to be popped, but Alice is going to be taken out pretty quickly. Tachiru does have that Sonic Seduction. They're going to have to find that KO quickly before that one comes out. Mr. Samter able to find Milkman, forcing out the BRB, but Mr. Samter's taken. The Sonic Seduction will come. Portal back here from Adelaide Uni, but maybe not necessary here with the rest of them still on this mission vehicle, still pushing it forward. This is going to come out. Great of both worlds here from Chicken Salt. They do also have the Meteor up once again for Humper. Looking for a big slam, but doesn't really need to pop it right now. Escudo use the movement with the smoke grenade. It's Agamotto from Oblivious, finding one strategist, but traded back immediately. Amplifier with the final judgment is going to be the Ansi coming through with a 1,000-fold slash, but it is only Alice. It's only the putty barrier here from Ewan keeping them up, and it's a double shotgun, making a triple Escudo. My word, shuts down Adelaide Uni's push.
Yeah, great quad coming out from them. They're going to be able to lock it in just on the edge of the line. So, very well-rounded approach onto that one. And now, UNSW Hal going to have to lock in the pressure all the same here and see if they can bring themselves into fruition as the Bucky is being hovered here by Mr. Samter. I kind of love this because they can make great use of the tainted voltage there, play into the bionic hook. There's a lot that they can bring forward onto this one. So, curious to see if they will be able to isolate some of the fights in their favor with that at their disposal. It's UNSW now. Take it slow, take it easy. But certainly not going to be easy once those gates are open here.
Yeah, definitely not going to be the easiest play for them.
30 seconds before you attack.
So Sam to get on a Bucky, I respect it. It's like not a bad pick if they were playing dive for the side of UNSW Hal, but they're just kind of playing very stock standard. Mag, Luna, Punisher, Emma, all very kind of stagnant, not too dive heavy on the picks here. So yeah, Bucky for Mr. Samter, eyes on it. Because, you know, he's a champ. He's a pretty good hero. Bucky.
3, 2, 1.
Go. Jumping in to the fold, the doors open and look to shut them out of this one. I like how they're taking the double-sided focus as well, you know, approaching it from two different lanes there. That will be to farm their way out. And the best they can from far here. Alice on the Ultron as well is almost easy pickings for our Punisher player here. Escudo there. Just look to sit back for the time being. Plenty of damage that they can bring up front as well. Playing around the mission vehicle here. At least that's one line of cover that Ewan can use, but once they get out of this first choke point, it could be a bit more problematic. And speaking of, big damage from Alice again, trying to isolate the strategists out of the fight here, but Escudo is not giving them much freedom.
And not giving them a lot of room to work with, and normally you don't see an Ultron against a Punisher. It's not a very common pick, especially with the fact that Punisher's pretty good at dealing with Ultron, but I like the composition. Triple strategist with the Bucky kind of allows a lot of high-end pressure with this Ultron damage boosting the front side as well, so it gives Ewan a little bit more damage potential to come out through, and Escudo needs to be careful. They're close in that corner. Does have the possibility of getting hooked by a bionic hook from this Bucky.
Ooh, and now it's going to be Kraken Impact. Coming online there into the final judgment. So Mr. Samter not going to be able to cook up what they liked out of that one. They play into the boundary there, which does nullify line of sight. They will trickle out only one more KO through that one or two. But Adelaide at least were able to use it as a line of cover to fall back and retreat in time here. I like how they're playing into the Strange and Invis team up as well. They can definitely make great use of those Maelstroms there into the Psionic Vortex as well.
We'll see Adelaide Uni up to Portal back. It feels a little bit early, but they're going to be coming back in a big way. Rage of Ultron with the Meteor out from Oblivious immediately onto Escudo. We're going to be seeing some ultimates traded. Edsong Inferno from Milkman. Able to find Mr. Samter and Beast, and now he's looking for another KO potentially, but Oblivious shuts that one out. They still have Alice keeping everybody online and up here for the likes of Adelaide Uni, but now they fall. Vanguards take it out, and Alice can't really hide all too much around that pillar. Punisher comes back. Ewan here to stall with the Strange. Just trying to secure some more time on the clock, but it's now 4 minutes. And a double KO from Escudo.
Yeah, They're going to be a great way to shut them out of that one, and UNSW will be looking to power ahead as fast as a lightning here. They get it past the first checkpoint and further beyond. Adelaide Uni, though, looking to see if they can meet them in the middle here. Try and take it pretty easy on towards that next choke point there. Just charge themselves up accordingly. See if they can get a KO or two in the neutral, perhaps. But I like how Escudodo there's playing around the lines of sight under this. They're not exposing themselves to the enemy. They will be able to catch Alice in the neutral. Out of position there, and this is the perfect way to push forward.
This is the perfect fight to keep it going. Oblivious, quick trade, Sonic Seduction pulling the strategist out of their cover. Taichiru's a little bit too far forward now. The rest of Adelaide Uni want to fight against Taichiru. Cracking impact once again. We saw Mr. Sam to pop it aggressively and didn't really have its success here. He's going to play a little bit more safer in the neutral. Going to be walking it up, and he's going to be cracking impact coming through here, securing those quick KOs. The resets are coming, looking for the Rocket, but Rocket's a slippery guy. He gets away pretty safely. Mr. Sam can't find that bionic hook either, but the fight's won by Adelaide Uni. UNSW how now need to reset themselves and recenter themselves for the 2 minutes 30 they've got left.
Yeah, they need to recompose themselves as quick as possible. Right? Because Adelaide Uni, they're back on lock here, but I mean, back on lock into the damage department, because Milkman is just getting so much damage. Alice is getting angry as well. Meteor over the top, so trying to further themselves here, but it's matched by the Seer into the final judgment, so the enhanced damage is just too overwhelming for Adelaide Uni here. It doesn't matter if they have to use the straddle to get away there. It's the fact that they're losing members at such a critical time that's so problematic for them here. So, UNSW doing everything within their power to continue to just power through this.
Yeah, just continuing to walk it forward despite the odds. Fate of both worlds comes through with the boundary in return for Strat-Ult, and he's going to be Ensong once again being held out here, trying to make that one explosive. Doesn't quite find its mark this time. It's going to be the Rampage coming through from the Beast. Ewan trying to find those strategists. Can't really do all too much because he's got no cover, he's got no help to help him out here. Taichiru and Milkman will be able to secure those quick KOs. Munchduck at least able to find one back, but now the Magneto's left alone on this cart trying to stall it out. UNSW How will continue to win the fight out here, Matt, and they'll continue to put their best foot forward.
Yeah, continue to put their best foot forward there and ready to see if they can draw anything else through on this one. Escudodo there. Be sitting back. Need to wait for the next point of counter-attack here. They can spot the lines of sight as well through the slight cracks in the armor here. Ooh, and they're looking to farm things up. Mr. Sampson in trouble. May be able to use the Kraken impact to turn the tide of the fight, but they can't overcook this one. You know, they have to hold out. There we go. Milkman goes down, so that's a decent beginning. They might not even need to commit any ults to this one. Oh, and here we go. They are trying to ensure that their enemies go away and quicker. Smart, yeah, will find a KO for KO. Luckily, Eska there doesn't manage to fall back to their spawn, the barrier, their safety net. But that could have been much worse if they kept going.
Yeah, that could have been a little bit too confident. Adelaide Uni now, minute 40 to hold against UNSW, and UNSW, they've got now all the ultimates advantage. Meteor for Meteor here in this next engagement could be big. Bionic Hook is going to pull one in. Star-Lord trying to walk up here. Al still have that Galactic Legend. Meteor going to be popped initially, trying to find that quick KO. They're secured on the Taichiru. We still see Adelaide Uni playing up in front and center, but they can't go too forward because they need to play safe. They need to play for that remaining minute on the clock here, Matt. How have to reset now.
The reset as quick as lightning. Do have at least the final judgment there into the Seer again. So they're trying to burn their way through. Adelaide Uni playing around the corners, but the corners only protect them for so long here. As the ult will run its course, and so too will three members of Adelaide Uni. So going to be a good way to force pressure forward. They can't afford to lose that Star-Lord. My goodness, Alice was in big trouble there. Hopefully they will regroup, retreat, and get ready for the next fight here, Tony. But I'm already feeling uncomfortable.
Yeah, this is feeling a little bit worrisome, right? They used the Meteor a little bit early, just trying to counteract the initial fight that was going to come through. Normally you probably want to save that for the final judgment, immediately try and find that pop. Ensong Inferno, the Sonic Seduction, but great boundary here is going to stop it in its place. Oblivious as well with Ewan trying to hold down this front line while the shots come out from the backside of things. Kraken Impact's available here. Clap coming through to keep everybody healthy. Kraken Impact coming through here, trying to secure a quick reset, but nobody's going to be found. They're all going to be pushing back here, Matt. Now this is going into overtime. We need to see UNSW House stall this point out.
Yeah, need to see them stall it out as long as possible here. Chicken Salt is at least good for one, but
portal.
there's going to be a portal coming back from Taitsaru as well. Gonna run it round the back here. There you go. Locking a bit of damage. Alice is going down. Adelaide in a bit of trouble here, Tony. The Phoenix zones up a ton of damage up front there. Now their teammates are following up with the KO. The show's not over and out yet, though, Tony. There's still a little bit more distance to cover here.
Yeah, I was going to say they need to use the Fate now. When does Beast pop it? And it is going to be upon the walk here. Amplifier Final Judgment as that dance came out. And Milkman's found those 2 KOs. It is going to be the slam back from Oblivious. BRB looking to be broken here. Claps coming out from Beast to try and secure the point hold here for Adelaide Unity. But it's still the fight being won out by Hal. And it will be Hal pushing us to a third.
2, 2.
There you have it. Through hard work, grit and determination, they will be able to take us through the full distance of this series. We are going to a third and final map here. Oh my days. And who better to get the MVP than Eskadudu there? It'll be a great stuff coming through from them on that Punisher. You know, playing in combination with the CYA time and time again there. Just pumping up those damage numbers in a huge way. Big reason why they got 29 final hits, Tony. That's almost 30. That is just absolutely insane. But you know what else is insane? Oblivious getting 18 finals to their name. SVP on the Adelaide side.
Yeah, well deserved for both sides. Oblivious had some pretty good meteors. And, well, for UNSW Hal, I have to, I guess, give them credit, knowing that their win con is that Amp Judgment and 60k damage from Escadodo, Matt. Very, very impressed with his Punisher. And I guess it feels fitting. It's very Punisher-centric at the moment with the meta, with the Devil Dinos being pretty rampant. But it also was a Punisher without the Devil Dino. UNSW, how just able to use that one to its success without its best feature in that team-up.
Yeah, not going to be able to take it to its full extent, wasn't it? But, you know, both teams, they give it their all. Unfortunately, not going to be able to see the end of the tunnel there for Adelaide Uni. So, means we are going to be going to a third and final map here, Tony. And I want to see Mr. Sam to bring out that Spider-Man again.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it should be an exciting one to potentially see, because we've just heard word from our production team, Matt, that it will be Central Park for the final map here. And I'll have some Spider-Man shenanigans. I don't know about you. I haven't seen some crazy pulls. I feel like Central Park's a little bit more reserved in terms of the environmental KO potential, but it's still there.
Yeah, there's some drop-off points, let's say. You know, we've seen some good Angelas in seasons prior. Do some great drop-offs from some points of disposal there. Wolverine's one of the same, you know, but
yeah.
With Devil Dinosaur into the mix now, we could see them get some environmental KOs if they're able to get the stop and drops correct there, but see how things fare. We jump in to the double-sided Gambit bands all over again. Devil Dinosaur probably going to be protected by Adelaide here, you would expect. We'll see what is reality, however.
You'd expect the Devil Dino to be saved here from Adelaide Uni, but yeah, it's a lot of different things they could probably opt to keep themselves. But yeah, Devil Dino, not a bad one. You know, it feels like this is the age of the meta at the moment, where it's either lock Devil first or ban Devil first, and then of course you go towards the dive characters. Black Cat's pretty strong, Phoenix is pretty strong, Punisher's going to be saved here for UNSW Hal, because they just had a field day with it. Why not go for it again?
Speaking of going for it again, we almost saw an Angela band come through there, Tony. I like that hover. I don't know if it's necessary anymore, but Mantis is going to be the thing locked in there. So, it'll be 8. Okay, a single-sided dinosaur. Maybe. It could be a Daredevil taken out here by UNSW. So both teams considering their options before they lock in their final answer here. The time is against them. Time's ticking. Time's up. So, Daredevil and the Devil Dinosaur there.
Daredevil, Devil, Dino. We're getting demonic, man. A lot of devils about here. And
Yeah, where's magic?
where's magic? Yeah, I was gonna say Mr. Sampson did bring out the magic at some stage during that last one. So yeah, we could see a magic potentially he thought about, but Luna probably, yeah, high on the priority here for UNSW. How we got a lot of value out of those fates from Chicken Salt. I would have thought maybe the Rocket, especially with the fact that they got the Punisher save. They probably wanted to keep the Rocket. And yeah, Adelaide Uni get a punish there. They're going to make sure that they don't get that Amplifier Judgment this time around.
Yeah, not going to be playing into the Enhanced Judgment this time. I do have at least the Punisher Protect for themselves. So double-sided Punishers this time around, but could be. No Rockets from either side.
Wow.
Ooh, we'll see. They have to consider their options now. They might have cooked themselves in the draft here. It's either Mantis or Rocket. They got to make sacrifices. What do, Tony? They got to take consideration here. It's going to be Mantis. You know what that means? It's a single-sided Enhanced Punisher with that CYA.
Yeah, the CYA Enhanced. And it is going to be a fun time for Adelaide Uni potentially here, but for Hal, there's a lot of good picks up for them. Of course, the Escododo Punisher was pretty good. Mag and Emma frontline, always a worrisome thing to deal with, and well, Phoenix kind of gets shifted in the priority here. Nobody remembered that the Phoenix is a pretty hard pick to deal with.
Yeah, going to be a very difficult pick to deal with, honestly. And I'm curious if it's going to work out for them. Like, I like to see the Star-Lord coming through time and time, but it just doesn't hit the same, you know, without the Raging Legend there, Tony. Just doesn't hit the same. But at least they've got the Bucky coming back out here for Alice, so very curious if they're going to be able to hit those bionic hooks there, maybe isolate their enemies out of the fight there. You know, they can get the chomp through as well from Ewan there, so they can further isolate KOs as much as they really need at this point. But we jump into the fray all right now. UNSW, ready on the defenses. You got your Primal Judgment for Adelaide Uni, ready to pump up that damage. Speaking of, damage is already looking to pursue the opposing Magneto here, and Joker goes down.
Yeah, quick KO secured there onto Joker. One and the same, Ewan also getting taken out here. So the Howl, they've got a pretty comfortable spot to sit and hold and bunker down. Of course, they're going to use that cover of that left pillar, or at least left on their side, right for Adelaide Uni. Escododo needs to be careful, can't be too far forward with the Punisher. The Vanguard's getting slowly taken out. Phoenix as well. Great shots coming through from Alice here on the Bucky. Changing tune here, but Escododo now in a shotgun engagement against the opposing Punisher, and Oblivious is going to win it out. Going to be slept and taken by Chicken Salt, though, so trade's 1-for-1 here. Still favorable for UNSW Howl.
Still favourable in almost every regard here, Tone, and they are trying their best to sort it out. Ewan will be happy with a triple onto that, gaining further control, but maybe not for long. Portal up top, ready to drop right in. No ults yet. If they can charge up Chicken Salt quick, though, that Fate of Both Worlds could come in clutch here. Oh, they might need it sooner rather than later. They're already losing. No! Chicken Salt's down! Kraken it backs up front here, so their win condition is nullified. The mission... Alice going to be taking a bit of a tumble there, Tony.
Let's get the reset, so...
That's an impact.
Yeah, that's an impact. That one definitely, it's hard if you're Alice, but
yeah.
Adelaide Uni, good fight. You know, using their win conditions, as you said, and now they've got 5 minutes almost to play with here. The Devil Dino going to be taking up space on that bridge very far forward here. I like how Adelaide Uni are opting to take all of this space away from UNSW Howl and making them fight for it.
Yeah, they're making it as difficult as they need to here, Tone, and Gonna see if they can hone in on another KO here. Final Judgment coming out. Not gonna be matched though. Does force the dance floor. They aren't getting much value from this. Atlas, though, does catch Nascent in the meanwhile, so that could be something. Elvis Rampage online. Escudodo there. See you later. Eternal Bond coming out in response, though. UNSW doing what they can. A Meteor over the top. Drop it in. Nobody goes down. So, still good for Adelaide here. UNSW still got more tools at their disposal.
Yeah, still got plenty of tools at their disposal. You can see UN still being a menace here, getting all the bleed stacks through. We'll get taken out by Escudodo. Adelaide Uni, though, will continue to move Ratatoska forward. Beast needs to be mindful of their teammates right now. Needs to get that strategist healing out, keep everybody up. Oblivious doing a ton of work with his Punisher, so probably want to keep him in play. And Song Inferno is going to be thought about. Kraken Impact again from Alice. Initially, we saw it popped in that last fight, and it had so much success. Not going to be seeing that level of success this time around. Final Judgment from Escudodo in a little bit more of a safer corner. Milkman's going to pay for that one. Down to 3 HP, but Escudodo still able to walk it forward. Taichirou trying to find the Luna, but down to a Slither will be traded immediately by Adelaide Uni, who still want to take this fight.
Yeah, they want to take it all the way to the top tone, and excited to see what they can do with it now, as we'll hold her back for the moment. USW trying to take the high ground here. I like how they keep trying for lines of sight on this. You know, they don't want to expose themselves to any of these points of contact here, but it's always going to be a weak point somewhere. You might least expect it. Speaking of, Escudodo now gets frozen and gets dropped. Nicely done by the Beast there. They will be able to feast on that KO, and we'll see if they can flow through more in a second as well. Nascent in a bit of trouble. Forced out the end song onto this one. Popped down. It's already going to be disengaged. So great from Adelaide Uni here. Now looking to catch more. Taichirou's down, forcing out the dance floor. Boundary coming up. Devil Beast Rampage into the Final Judgment. They are committing everything on to this one, Tony.
Yeah, having to commit every single ultimate to make that fight work. Oblivious Final Judgment, and we saw the Rampage, Devil Beast Rampage coming out from the Devil Dino Ewan. So I have to give credit, showing what this Devil Dino is capable of, and it's a ton of like getting those bleed stacks across onto UNSW How. And as well, I believe he pulled Milkman out of that Fate of Both Worlds for a little bit, so could have been a quick KO if Adelaide Uni were able to capitalize off that one, but UNSW How now back towards the fight. Here we'll go. Kraken Impact, of course, available for Alice. Will be popped pretty quickly if they just want to get this fight started immediately.
Yeah, could manage to activate a nice and quickly. Going to be the Psionic Seduction up front, though. Trying to see if they can catch anyone in it. Do get one player. Ooh, another one around the back there. Now launching an attack off it. It's going to be the Kraken Impact up front here. Eternal Bond's going to be forced out into play as well. Not going to be able to use much on the Kraken Impact there. So just going to be the battle of the Straddles right now. Maybe more to follow. Escudodo, I got my eyes on you because you got that Final Judgment. Could be able to wipe up Adelaide Uni accordingly if the need arises here. But for now, UNSW doing a good job to sustain through. There it is, Final Judgment. Now looking to burn ahead, almost destroyed. Mr. Scepter gets it done.
Yeah, Mr. Scepter, that's the call that we wanted to see from Adelaide Uni. When UNSW How were winning out those fights, it was Amplifier and an unanswered Judgment, no Meteor to swallow up all of that initial damage. But this time, it seems like Adelaide Uni have done their homework. They've done the calls correctly. Great freeze is coming through here as well from Beast. And that is a all three captured here on Central Park. Matt, with a minute and 40 left. Not as decisive maybe as Adelaide Uni would have initially liked, but they'll take 3 at the end of the day.
Yeah, 3's the magic number. They'll take it all the way to the bank there. And let's see if they can bank on more. Heading in to next half of this one. Nascent hovers over the... Hey, I see that, Escudodo. I see that. Don't you dare. Don't you dare bring out the Hawkeye. Hey, Human Torch. Don't you dare bring out the...
Don't you dare.
Yeah, don't you dare. No, we'll see what... playing for the vibes, maybe. Oh, my goodness. They're hovering everything, Tony.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my God. They're bringing out everything.
Yeah.
Master of all. Maybe Alice?
All-seeing Oracle there. We'll see what they are going to be looking to do. And it's the next abortion. Yeah, I feel like the All-Seeing Oracle is something that's probably eluded everyone in Oceania's predictions for the stage 1.
Yeah, I definitely didn't get it. I'm sitting at 25%. I got Genji
I
and
don't
Chase.
wanna
That
look.
was about it.
Yeah, I don't want to look. I don't want to look at all, man.
Yeah.
But we are going to be locking it in into this round right now as both teams look to prepare for battle. Not going to be rattled, they're going to be settled. Milkman playing into the Groot this time. Definitely can take things into positive strides, I'd say, especially with that Strangling Prison there. So, curious to see how things will progress.
We'll see how they go. Mr. Samter, you're going to have to be on their A game right now to control all of this space. UNSW, how they're looking to take up here with the Moon Knight, with the Punisher and the Groot. It's just so much isolated damage that could come through here from the side of UNSW How, but in the interim, Oblivious sees the turret set up, pulls out the shotgun, and will best out the Moon Knight. Oblivious using that shotgun well, and Alice looking to push the issue a little bit further forward. Chicken Salt under fire. Milkman caught too. Adelaide Uni.
Ready again.
There's some impressive upfront engagement there to close that fight.
Yeah, going to be a real solid stuff coming through here, and we'll see if they can pour themselves even further presence. We'll take it easy for the moment. Nascent, the best they can. Oh my goodness, Alice almost struck out of the fight immediately there, so I have to retreat back, and with great haste here, one and the same it is going to be. UNSW now. Holding it on. Oblivious up high though. Rise up. Not going to be able to lock it down.
Oh, almost found it though. Oblivious taken to a slither of HP. We're going to have to see Boundary forced to be used here. It's going to be Khonshu, but they're going to walk past it. Final Judgment's going to be letting that one sing. Dance to the Butterfly as well. Is going to be 2 from Alice, looking for a follow-up on a 3rd. Taichirou just a little bit out of position now because the rest of the team fallen. Environmental chaos for Humper and Alice.
Yeah, going to be A-okay, all good for this one. So, really great presence on the initial mission area here, just stalling them out almost to a full extent here, Tone. You know, they've got a minute 50-ish remaining, so it could be a fight or 2 left here. UNSW just need to charge themselves up a little more, and here we go. Playing into it with the dance floor there. Meteor coming. Oh my god!
My.
Mr. Santa! Triple KO with a double tap from you in there! It's an absolute bloodbath!
Oh my word, Mr. Samter. That's what we wanted to see. The adaptation here from Adelaide Uni is the Meteors shutting down UNSW How. We didn't get to see it on Yggdrasil. We're now seeing it on Central Park, and that's a big one to stall out the time just that little bit longer. Only a minute left here for the How to play with.
Yeah, not much time at all, and that's going to be taking down the morale if I've ever seen anything like it. So, keen and curious to see how it goes as Adelaide will go first. Yeah, not going to be able to keep Oblivious up though, but they trade on to Taichirou, so it's not all over and out yet. Milkman going to be in a bit of trouble. The Haas now full. Adelaide looking good, keeping up the pressure there. Chicken Salt needs to stay online in this fight. They're a critical piece here. Let's see if UNSW can bring it back as the boundary comes up. Adelaide are going so early on this one, Tony.
Yeah, they're not afraid to pop their ultimates because they know that they're in the driver's seat and all of the cojones is on UNSW How to walk up. Meteor, Khonshu could be good as well, shutting down that turret from Oblivious who's set up in the back, and it will be Khonshu for 2. And it is going to be Alice though, trading it back, finding Nascent, finding Chicken Salt, 2 for 2. And the trades still continue. Invisible Boundary and Song Inferno here for the How. It will look to go bang. It will do some big damage, but Ewan able to find Taichirou is stalling this out. Alice does get the Dance of the Butterfly at the right time. It will find 1 KO. It will find 2. It's a double. And it is OT ticking. It's still Nascent trying to stall this point out. And it is going to be Meteor in Taichirou's face. Snowball goes fate of both worlds here from Chicken Salt. It is back. Escadudu is back on this point, trying to stall it out. Meteor's going to be popped here for Humper, trying to find something back and makes it work. Beast taken. OT still going, Matt, and both of these teams are still fighting for it.
Fighting hard, fighting strong, and proving true! Oh my days! Adelaide pulled through in the end, and that's gonna be GG, well played! Adelaide Uni, get the job done, Tony! Blink and you'll miss it. The game is over! The game is out! And my word, Beast gonna be taking away the MVP there. Huge stuff from them and theirs onto this one, Tony. Got to give props where it's due.
Yeah, not on the Ultron. There was the last one to swap there from Beast to the Ultron, but yeah, some huge play from Beast, and the strategy line from Adelaide Uni couldn't fault them. Beast, Munch just getting involved there, keeping everybody topped up, and again, what a dunk from Mr. Sampson, Matt. That really turned the tide. It slowed the brakes here. And UNSW, how they're panicked. All of a sudden, you're like, how do we answer what has just been probably the play of this entire series?
Yeah, genuinely, like, how do they respond to that? You know, very demoralizing to be the victim of such devastation. You know, it's literally a meteor coming crashing down on your team. So,
yep,
going to be a big issue. Most certainly. But what a game, you know, so back and forth. It went all the way to the last map there. So, incredible work, I have to admit.
Yeah, props to UNSW. How that was a strong Yggdrasil from them. And yeah, just unfortunately they got their win condition taken away, which is the Punisher and Rocket. But, you know, Punisher still felt like it had its moments of shine there. Escododo definitely showing that pick pretty well. And then, of course, we saw Milkman be a pretty good supporting cast, Matt. A lot of damage came out of that Phoenix. A lot of damage came out of Milkman overall. Just, you know, suffering up those KOs for the final hits to come through from Escododo. It's hard to fault Adelaide Uni in that one, especially the change-up from Alice. Going over to the Psylocke and just knowing that Adelaide Uni want to play more in towards the ultimate game more so than the neutral.
Yeah, you know, they're not afraid to commit the ults if they need to. Like, they were very eager. They were willing to go first there, and that's what makes or breaks fights sometimes. You know, just shying away from hesitation. They just dive straight into it. Just like we're about to dive straight into this break here while we set up our next series. See you soon. Welcome back, everybody. AEL University Elite Series coming at you with Matzy and 2 Tap Tony for one last final dance here. We're going to be jumping in RMIT Black taking on UCID in this best of 3 endeavor. Who's going to take it? Let's find out.
Of course, for the teams, it is RMIT Black, it is Air Ninja, Netra, Smiles, Avorst, Untitled, and Gillies. For the side of UCID, it's that dude Bacon, Kitsune, Lamau, Sky Dude, Piggish, and Seabass. Matt, this is going to be an interesting one. We've seen the resurgence of RMIT Black over the past few weeks. They've looked in pretty good form, and well, for UCID, it's about shutting that down. And if there's anyone I'm looking at, it's that dude's Bacon on the Fantastic.
That's got me feeling fantastic to see the fantastic hover there, Tony. Curious if it will break through, though, as Gambit will fall. So, what's going to be the first protect? Probably Devil Dinosaur. Or not. Mr. Fantastic could be it. Or, we could see Scarlet Witch. Or, we could see Squirrel. Nah, I think it's going to be... Wow, okay.
Oh.
Doctor Strange will be the first protect on Krakoa here.
Oh my. Strange.
Wow.
Or, the UCID, okay. I believe that probably go to Lamau. Lamau hover on that one. But yeah, wasn't expecting Strange. And I think, yeah, RMIT probably weren't expecting the immediate Strange lock. So having to think about their next line of bans here, it will be Lunar Snow. And it is going to be the Devil Dino save here for RMIT. So yeah, unfortunately for you, Sid, they don't get the luxury of a second ban to start it off. And unfortunately, they won't be able to secure the Devil Dino probably for themselves here. I imagine it will be a ban from RMIT.
Yeah, you'd probably imagine correctly, Toad. As we will be see the Black Cat taken away there. Going to be the Punisher actually shut down here. Yeah. As we will have the Daredevil taken away as well. So they're really disengaging the mobile duelists, you said. I can see where their focus lies here, but one and the same. There's no Devil Dinosaur ban at all from RMIT. They don't care about it either.
Yeah. And don't seem to be worried at all about it. So, well, fair enough. Phoenix going to be saved here. I believe that will be over to Avorst. Avorst played pretty well last week from memory, Matt, and as well, of course, have to give shout-outs again to Netra. Netra played a pretty strong series last time we saw RMIT Black. And as well, I've just noticed a small thing. You know, Devil Dino for both sides, pretty good. Mantis probably final ban here for the likes of RMIT. Is that that's a Lord Torch? Smiles.
Torch God's coming out, trying to show Jay Sune who's boss there.
He's got to lock it in.
How it, yeah.
No shot.
Oh, yeah.
No shot.
This is the real Smiles, Tony. Don't question it.
No, he's
no.
Ooh.
We'll save that one for the rank QA, but it is going to be the Devil Dinosaur locked in for Smiles this time around. Kitsune looking to play into it as well here, so both teams can play the Dinosaur here. Not going to be too worried at all, really. I love the strap pull hover coming out from Sky Dude there. You don't get to see it much, and you do get to see some interesting terrain. Love the mountains here, Tony.
Yeah, this is cinematic.
30 seconds.
Yeah, wiggle.
I don't think I've ever seen that part of the map before.
Yeah, that's something new.
People think they can see right through me.
I'm all for it.
I bet you
All
Like
for
you
it.
see something new every day when you're playing this wonderful game, don't you, Tony?
Yeah, it feels like I was. You know, did you ever experiment with like Pokemon like Out of Bounds back in the day? And
Yeah.
it felt like that's like I just popped on an action replay and was like, yeah, gone for a wander.
Yeah. Just going to explore. Love to see it. But we are going to be looking to play now into the game here. So, Gillies will be playing into the Moon Knight here, Netra onto the Cap, and Ninja going to be on to the Luna. So, very eager to see how things will play out for all of them here, as they have a very versatile lineup. You know, there's a lot of Vanguard players on RMIT. Everyone is forced to try and pick up the mantle.
Yeah, it's interesting. Speaking about how many Vanguard players there are, Air Ninja, in his career used to be a Vanguard player. Smiles, Nextra, pretty prominent Vanguard players. So yeah, RMIT just showing that the best way to lead a fight is from the front, and that's what we already see from them starting it off here. Some quick KOs secured, and now going to be controlling that front pressure here over towards this kind of hill choke, the stairs choke, if you will.
Yeah, looking to prevent them from running up that hill.
Yeah.
And that will be taking it easy. Smiles playing from a distance as well. I like the discipline coming through from them there. They're playing the lines of sight, not looking to concede too much. But now we'll be able to bring it back in a big way there. So good target focus coming through from their team. Slowly but surely, we'll be able to pile down their enemies. And we'll be happy with the outcome.
Yeah, happy to get some quick KOs again. And percentage starts to build, and if we're you, Sid, what's the call here? Do I think maybe they wait till they have that Eternal Bond so they can kind of just walk with that, or do we maybe see Skydude get aggressive, try and take a top left position here? Because they can look to just walk around the left-hand side, or even on the low ground. They don't have to walk through main here, Matt.
No, they really don't. Like, there's a lot of other options that they can play into. They don't have to just go all in one lane. There's always going to be another way forward. Just like that, Kitsune finds an opening, and Konshu going to be committed in response there. Gillies goes down as well, though. Kitsune now looking to fly through. Will eventually go down, though. So good response from Smiles there. Still looking to just hold the front line side of things here. Freedom Charge coming in, though. Oh my goodness, they are running it on the strategist line up there. Looking to get so much damage through. Eventually, we'll be looking to escape. But I mean, it doesn't matter when they're just holding it down on the mission area. Getting it up as close as they can to 100. And yeah, no contest. It's going to be RMIT, a clean endeavor.
Yeah, very clean point of contention there. And I was hoping for you, Sid. I saw, Konshu come out. I was like, oh, this is their way to walk. We can see normally Eternal Bond as well is going to be up for this one at least, and Song as well. At least for you, Sid, right? They don't get the touch that they probably wanted, but they do have the potential to use some of those ultimates going into this next engagement. RMIT, though, have a Fate. They've got a copy as well, so you can copy that Fate, and we could be seeing 2 dance floors on the mission area.
I'd love to see 2 dance floors, have a little bit of a disco. Maybe we need to bring out the Hella costume, It'd only be fitting to attend the disco there. But we are going to be seeing Mr. Fantastic come out, Tony. Let's go! Gillies is bringing it out in style. And we are looking to go wild on this one. Mission area unlocks in 22 seconds here, and they're already looking to run it on over as quick as they possibly can onto this one. Ooh, it looks like the God of Mischief is already being early committed here. They're all dinosaurs! What's that been? Oh my god!
Oh my god. Untitled. End Smiles. It's a devil dino rampage. It feels like we're in Jurassic Park, Matt, and that is a way to kick it off here while one member from RMIT tucks back to go capture the point. The rest of them having a little bit of fun with it to kick off this first fight.
I mean, that's one way to overwhelm your opponents there with a double Devil Beast Rampage. Why the heck not? Smiles getting shut down early, though, could be a big problem, and Untitled 404. It's all going from bad to worst. It's all going wrong here. We'll see if they can change that. Yeah, I think they've overcooked a bit too much onto this one. They're doing a good job to stall, though. I'll respect that, but that's all they can kind of do at this point, isn't it?
Yeah, that's all they really try and do for the moment as the point flips back to you, Sid. That dude Bacon has to be a little bit cautious. He moves that Phoenix back towards the point here, and it's interesting as well to play into that Okay, no, never mind. Gillies are swapped off. I was gonna play into the fantastic. Maybe he's like trying to like get a little bit of a jab at that dude Bacon that he's not on the Fantastic for the moment. As he's trapped to Phoenix duties. It feels like bag jail in a way, right? You know, you have to play Phoenix with Phoenix is good.
Not again. Not again. Don't mention that around Smiles. There's trauma there. But we are jumping.
Cold sweats.
Yeah. No, anything but Magneto. Yeah, but we are going to be jumping into the next fight here. Total Bondo coming out from Pinkish there, looking to just keep their team on in control on this one. Vorst goes down, so that's a good way to maintain course over it. RMIT need to find a way to command respect, though. Need to find a way back in as quick as they can. They might get it. Kitsune taking a ton of damage there, but I mean, they still haven't been able to flip the script here.
Haven't been able to take the point back in their favor. Netra still floating around. That's the signs of a good Captain America player if they're able to float around and, you know, be a little bit of a nuisance. Of course, have to use that shield to keep themselves up. And so I'm going to be popped here for that dude Bacon, but Fate of Both Worlds from Ninja is actually kind of perfectly timed here. Walks on with the buddy barrier, and we're going to be seeing Untitled again copy the Devil Beast Rampage. It's 2 dinos, not 1, and it's so much to deal with for you, Sid, and they're just going to crumble.
Yeah, they're in deep trouble under this one. See if they can manage to get out of trouble here. Struggle their way in as RMIT stick it out. Going to break a bit of the terrain there, open up the lines of sight on this one, just so then use it against their opponents and utilize their own cover here to keep themselves in check. But Netra's looking to go for a bit of a flank as well. I can respect that. Smiles now taking the control up front there. Devil Beast Rampage coming out into the boundary here, so just looking to see if they can trade out ults on this one. But I mean, it's good from RMIT here. They managed to keep control of the space, and they're getting closer and closer in the percentage mark here.
Yeah, it's starting to ramp up a little bit. Vorst going to be under fire in a little bit. Smile's going to be stunned up by the Agamotto. Untitled falls. Netra trying to get the touch back on. And Ninja just trying to get out. And, using that fancy feet, able to dodge out the shots from that dude Bacon. So good movement coming in from Air Ninja. You Sid, though, they will be able to capture the point back to their favor, and now we're going to have to see a portal come here from RMIT, and just in the time that they'll be able to get it off.
Yeah, get it off, get it in, and look to see if they can spin something forward. It's already a double KO show here, looking great for RMIT to stop them. A freedom charge coming out as well, so we'll keep them in the fight a little longer. One strategist is all they got, though, but Netra doesn't care. They lock in the triple KO, and it will be control taken.
Yeah, some clean movement there from Netra. I don't know if the freedom charge was probably necessary, but Gilly's now back here in play with the Angela, so they're going to be running triple Vanguard. Gilly's in the face of that dude Bacon. Portal forced out from you, Sid. They do have Eternal Bond on towards the point with the Cyrex Seduction. They've got ultimate advantage, Matt. And oh, that's a little bit of a rough movement there. I've been there, Piggish.
Yeah, going to be jumping into that one, aren't they? But it's going to be Netra again, trying their best to maneuver, control, stroll ahead, and Song coming out, and drops down. Gillies, though, will be the one to go to town with KOs there. Looking to capture more, and Ninja good with the dance floor there, and it's going to be A-OK onto this one. They take control, they stroll their way through, and that is going to be map 1, done and dusted for RMIT.
Yeah, that was a really well played second point there from them, just knowing when to portal and using Cap so effectively. Netra getting some good stall in, and as well dishing out a lot of damage. Normally you don't see a Cap do that much. They're finding all of those KOs and securing the fights for the side of RMIT. Black there, you said though, had a little bit more fight in them in that second point, Matt. So, you know, my eyes to the second map to see how USID can capitalize off of what they've worked out here.
Yeah, I'm hopeful that they can adapt and kind of work something out from that one. Obviously, you know, they went for the Strange Protect onto the draft there. Didn't really matter. It did work out against them in some ways as well, but still, they put up a decent fight there. You know, Kitsune was a player to watch on the USID side. I think that they did really great strides for their team in enabling some of those KO moments there. But RMIT just able to overwhelm at the best of times there. So gonna need to find a way forward for them. See if UCID can adapt their drafts, maybe. Try and change things up a little bit. Maybe they put focus over the Devil Dinosaur, ban it out against their opponents. But we'll see what happens in the long run.
And we'll have to see what happens here. Yeah, Devil Dino is definitely something they could think about here. Maybe we put that dude Bacon back on the Fantastic. Maybe we let him play to his strengths here. But Matt, we've just received word we are going to be going to Midtown here for the second map, and that's interesting because we haven't seen a lot of Midtown so far today. We saw a lot of Midtown last week, but not so much the flavor of play this week as we get into the ban draft. And yeah, I want to see some adaptations here from you, Sid.
Yeah, I'm hopeful, especially on a map like Midtown here. You know, I'm very hopeful of what they can do.
Lord Venoms? Oh my god.
Yeah, they're gonna feel the venom, all right. So
oh yeah,
definitely keen to see who dons that one. Maybe Air Ninja gets their time on the Vanguard.
Yeah, sure.
Oh my days. Punisher is going to be the first protect from UCID, Tony. So I can see where their focus lies on this one.
Yeah, I want to bring out the pun here, and yeah, we're gonna be seeing Devil Dino gonna be banned here by the side of RMIT, and yeah, one side of Devil Dino, the luxury of getting that secondary ban after the first one, Matt.
Yeah, it's the flexibility that comes with it, isn't it, Tony? You know, they're able to play into it, and we'll be able to have it single-sidedly now, so don't have to worry about UCID matching it at all. But UCID, they're going for a similar ban line again. They don't seem to care about the strange focus this time. They're just going to ban down that Black Cat, probably ban down Daredevil as well. But I mean, against a team like RMIT Black, I don't think it really matters. Ooh,
no.
They have adapted in a way. They've taken away Netra's cap now.
Okay. A respectable one to be taken away here from the side of RMIT, because we saw, yeah, what Netra can do with that cap, and I feel like the problem with this cap ban is it still just allows Netra to play whatever else he wants. Maybe he goes to the mag, maybe we see him on the Emma. Netra's got a pretty diverse pool of heroes in that Vanguard lineup, so yeah, you know, you take away one of his tricks, he's still got plenty left up his sleeve. Daredevil gonna be banned out here as well with the Black Cat, so both dive duelists that we've seen pretty prominent as of late are not here for RMIT here on Midtown.
Yeah, not going to be here at all. And there it is again, Tony. The Strange Protect coming through here. Mantis going to be maybe, there it goes, locked away there. So not going to be able to play into the damage boost or the speed boost there for UCID. But at least they got their Doctor Strange so they can contest against the mission vehicle there. And eager to see that one come in. Smiles now gets the hover.
I'm not believing it, man. I'm not believing it.
Hey, and Ninja can play Vanguard. I want to believe.
Wait, then who's their other strategist? They need another strategist.
They don't need one.
They need one? Untitled's going to do all the heavy lifting?
Yep. Look, Gillies is playing Vanguard. Netra probably playing Vanguard there. It's Smiles time, Tony. Believe in the Torch God.
Sure. This is surely... Oh, wait, he's walking.
He's walking.
He's walking.
He's making moves.
He's out. He's out of spawn.
Yeah, he's moonwalking.
Okay, Air Ninja doesn't get to play Vanguard, unfortunately. Wait, they're going to put Netra on Devil Dino? Okay.
Yeah.
I like this.
They've switched it up. Everybody can play Vanguard, Tony. It's the revolving door Vanguard lineup.
That's fair. I haven't seen Netra Devil Dino yet, so, like, you know, we
I'm
say
all for
everybody
it.
can... Yeah, I'm all for it. We get to see Gillies on the Emma as well, so it should be exciting. And
Yeah.
Torch God Smiles here. And they're bringing a lot of heat, man. We've got Phoenix and Torch as the duelist lineup here for RMIT, so that's going to be something that you should have to be cautious of. Do they have a water bucket here?
Unfortunately, no Jeff. So
No Jeff.
unlucky, Tony. No water bucket there. You know, well, with Netra playing the Devil Dino, maybe this is a little preview of what he's going to be playing in Ignite this week. Who knows?
True.
Yeah. We'll see what is going to come out from Smiles right now, though. Just holding back for the second. You have a Sky Dude with the old at the ready there. Could play into the Ponage Pound, or maybe the final Zan there. A couple of options for them depending on which weapon they're using, but Body Barrier already going to be popped by Netra there, so good to just nullify some of that damage early. Yeah.
Yeah, Body Barrier and the runes being used early here from RMIT. You can see that there's a lot of upfront damage coming out, especially with the fact that they have the Strat Pull and the Punisher. It does allow for them to snap some quick KOs, but Netra and then Gillies going to be securing themselves some quick ones. Smile still poking away with those fiery abilities that the Torch has, and well, they're going to be using the cover. That's what I have to give credit to RMIT. You can see Smiles ducking in and out of that wall and ducking in and out of that left-hand room. That's the luxury that the defense team has to start off here on Midtown.
Oh, here we go. Sonic Seduction in to Final Judgment there, but RMIT, they just play the tight corners there. They only lose Divorce, and now they respond with more of their own. Smiles going down, though, is a problem, but doesn't seem to matter. It's going to be Gillies and Untitled doing the best they can to just sustain through all the punishment they're being faced with here. They will succeed for the most part. You know, they can afford to retreat back, give a bit of space while the rest of their team is on the respawn.
And Gillies attempting a little bit of a stall. Minute 50 here for you, Sid, and not going to be feeling too worried about it, but for RMIT, they've got a few ultimates to play with. We have the end song, do have as well. Supernova from Smiles could be good. Netra going to try and walk it up, and of course with the Rampage surely to come out here. Supernova going to be coming through from Smiles, but not quite able to find any sort of damage here with the Tornadoes, and Ninja can't even keep him up because he's out of range there on the Fates, and Gillies also taken. You should have captured the point and then some. They've forced RMIT to use too many ultimates.
Yeah, forced them to give away too much onto this one. So it's going to be a bigger problem, but I've still got a couple of things at the ready. Yeah, Smiles are bringing out one of the other Old Faithfuls on the duelist lineup there, the Star-Lord. So, need to see if Smiles is a Lord of the Skies once again as the turret goes down with the terrain there. Interesting one from that dude Bacon, but they've got the Flying Fox available, so they might be able to zipline their way in.
Let's see what we can do. Rampage coming through from Netra with the end song on top of it. That's a lot of damage there of Force. Fighting that quick double KO. And Netra looking for their double KO too. Secures onto Piggish. The White Fox able to get out here, but the rest of RMIT still chipping damage into the back. Netra will be able to find that double that he was after. And you, Sid, well, having to expend themselves pretty dry in that last one. A lot of ultimates being used by RMIT. Once again, having to use End Song and the Rampage just to win the fight out. RMIT, we need to see a little bit more of the neutral game go their way.
Yeah, they really need to take this into their favor, don't they? But they're going to be looking to hold it back for the moment. Big damage being popped up top there. Billy's ready for the final judgment. Try to force back. Divorced. Good to shut it down, though. It's going to be Psionic for Psionic here. Ponish Bound coming out from Skydude here. Going to try their best onto it. Going to be able to catch much wind, though. And Ninja good to trade things out. Now parading forward. And we'll see an Agamotto perhaps up top. Skydude in trouble. Eternal Bond coming out here, Tony. Here we go.
Yeah, Eternal Bond stabilizes the fight. Untitled, though. Being a very aggressive Loki player right now, just getting out a lot more damage. Even though the last patch they hit, Loki did suffer a little bit in the damage numbers. The healing got a little bit more amplified, though. That's why we're still seeing Loki played pretty prominently. Use it. Now, they've got themselves back to fighting form. Skydude going to be using those Desert Eagles and getting the team up to healthy numbers here. But Netra with the Buddy Barrier on top of everybody now starting to walk on top of you, Sid. Fate of Both Worlds comes out as well. Galactic Legend and Song. Just everything for good measure. The kitchen sink in there as well as you, Sid, will fall. Triple from Smiles of the Galactic Legend. going legendary. RMIT now force USID with a minute left to play.
Yeah, not going to be much more opportunities here to fight back into this one. USID they have to charge themselves up a little more. They have a tiny bit of time to do that, but if they don't get there in time, it's going to be very difficult very, very quickly here as we push up now, get closer and closer. USID ready and waiting. RMIT already prepared, and it's going to be the Sonic Seduction coming out here, locking down 2, looking to pull through for more. The next Sonic comes out. Gumio unleashed. It's all going down in a blaze of glory here. Gillies is him. Holy Shin Shibuya. They get it done.
Yeah, that was clean play out of Gillies there with the Sonic Seduction. Netra as well getting a cheeky lead stack there onto the Kumiho. Final Judgment is going to be attempted to be used through that portal. We'll be able to find Enforced at least, but it is going to still be the rest of RMIT fighting in form. That dude Bacon doesn't get through the portal. Overtime ticks, the Cloak and Dagger's down. Now that dude Bacon's trying to get back on. Fate of Both Worlds, Untitled copying that one for good measure. They'll take the Deadpool with them back towards the spawn area. Only a 1 cap here from USID at 97 meters.
They're going to be happy with that, aren't they, Tony? Going to be real happy with that. Locking them down just on the edge there. Not going to be able to really achieve much more from there. But again, it's Smiles hovering over the Torch God, ready to ignite the battle in its second half here. Untitled hovering over the Vanguard this time.
Ooh.
Okay. Maybe not.
Give it to him. Let it,
Yeah, let him.
go.
Let in Ninja give it a go. Rotate the roster. Why not?
Ooh.
Strap pull.
Strap pull?
Okay. I'm for it.
I don't think I've seen it in the strap pull. Like
Likewise.
as we've alluded to, you know, a lot of these guys play Vanguard, and a lot of them have played, of course, Vanguard professionally. You know, MRIs, MRCs. Air Ninja was one of those guys that was like, you know what, I'm just happy to flex. I'm happy to fill. And he's been seen a lot more on the strategist role as of late, and yeah, definitely didn't think strap pull was in his arsenal of tricks, but might be an exciting one to watch for as well. Dawning the I believe that is the Sentinels bundle.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. They got Cubit on the back there, so
Yeah, that's cool.
certainly is going to be the Sentinels bundle for Deadpool. Love to see it. And see what else they can do now. Diving Strike coming out from the Venom here. Take it easy for the moment. Divorced. Good damage up front though. Almost locking down something more up here. They have a few more angles to worry about than just the lane in front of them. They are certainly bringing up a lot of pain here.
A lot of pain and punishment coming out here from RMIT. They kick Kitsune back into the rest of the team. The runes will come out, and Edge going to get that upgrade through. Curious to see what it is. Of course, maybe Deadpool in your area. Normally one we see, your opponent's pound, of course, pretty effective ultimate. Smiles still chipping away, breathing fire down the necks of USID as they'll continue to walk it up here. RMIT just being absolute menaces here against USID, not letting them breathe, not letting them stabilize at all here. Well, now just trying to get on to touch and stall. Doesn't have Feast of the Abyss, so the stalling power is not as effective when he's got 6 people looking at him. That is already probably going to be the cap here at 2 minutes 40.
Yeah, they're on the edge of the first checkpoint there. We'll be able to lock it down, and all they have is just over halfway to the next one to go. So, going to be very close to locking it down right here, right now, Tony. USID need to dig deep. They have the Final Judgment at the ready, maybe even Eternal Bond if they get there in time, but RMIT are just too quick. They're getting closer and closer, Tony. I'm getting uncomfortable here.
Yeah, this is getting worrisome for USID. We're seeing Protege pound out of Air Ninja as they'll continue to walk, and Lamau just feels like he's trying to stall on his own. There's nobody else there to help. Eternal Bond comes through from Piggish. They'll try and walk it up here with the Final Judgment. And it's Scout out Air Ninja who's bouncing around. They'll break the rune, they'll break the Loki clone. Netra's just hiding because he doesn't want to deal with that Final Judgment. does now have the Rampaging Devil Beast to come through, and it is going to be End Song Psionic Seduction. RMIT are popping all their ultimates. It's another End Song. It's a supernova as well, Matt. It's a catastrophe of ultimates, and RMIT will lock it into.
Yeah, lock it down, lock it in, and they will be claiming a swift victory. So, GG, well played from them and theirs. They're going to be Gillies taking away the MVP on the Emma Frost there. You love to see it. You know, they've definitely made impact in a big way there, especially on that first half, carving the path forward for their team and doing it in a style all the meanwhile. So, going to be really good work from them and theirs. As you can see by the stat line, though, it's pretty even in its split across RMIT, especially in terms of your damage dealers, your vanguards. Like, it's a pretty well-rounded roster there.
Yeah, can't really, say it's all one person there from RMIT, and yeah, we got to see a little bit of an interesting composition. The Smiles Torch, the Air Ninja Strat Pool. And it did its job, I was very impressed. I felt like there wasn't anything that was like a little bit weak on the side of RMIT. You said they definitely had their moments as well. That dude Bacon on the Punisher had some pretty solid play, all things considered. Just the fact that they were getting steamrolled there in those last few pushes that were coming out from RMIT. It's a lot of working ground still here for you, Sid, I imagine.
Yeah. Definitely a lot of working ground that they need to consider there. I think that they were trying a thing or two in the draft there. Unfortunately, it didn't work for them, but I think that there's a lot that they can kind of consider going forward. I think that given some time and, yeah, they'll be able to fix that up in no time. No questions asked. But that's going to be that game done and dusted. Let's see how the results fare at the conclusion of that one.
Yeah, of course, we'll take you through the results. It is going to be 2-1. Adelaide Uni taking away the game against UNSW Howe. And then we saw Monash Maniacs 2-1 against Macquarie Crimson. UNSW Raw 2-0 against UTS. And then RMIT Black, we just saw them. Nice little 2-0 there over USID. And that's our first page, Matt. We've still got plenty more games that happen throughout today.
And here we go. Next set of results here. Macquarie Onyx take it away 2-0 against Deakin. And QUT taking it away 2-0 against Swinburne there. That was a good one. But Monash Mutants taking it away from RMIT Red. Well done to the Monash Mutants there. Props to them.
Yeah, a big pick up there for Monash Mutants. And yeah, unfortunate there for RMIT. QT as well, getting a nice win to their board. Always happy to see. Macquarie as well. Nice, clean game over Deakin on that match page 2. And of course, plenty more results as well, Matt, as we, of course, will go over one more page.
Oh, yeah. One more page. We're turning the page. Yeah. Many books. Which we did, and the Macquarie Onyx are going to be over, and now it's on to the Monash Mutants now, taking it away 2-0 against QUT. UTS going to be taking it away from RMIT Red there, and it'll be a 2-0 for Macquarie Onyx as well. So nicely done to shut down Swinburne there, but we saw a 3-mapper. We certainly did against USID and Deakin. It goes to show USID did find a little bit of success today. Even if we saw, they took a loss in the last game we followed today, they did manage to get a win there. So good on them.
Yeah, no, props to them. USID and Deakin's as well. A good team to take a series against. Deakin's one of those teams that is around the bottom of the pack, but can definitely contend with the best of them if they're on their A game. And as well, looking at the rest of these results, Matt, Monash Mutants taking a 2-0 over QUT. Pretty good one. As, of course, we check out here as well some more games that happened. RMIT with a 2-0 over Adelaide Uni. Then we, of course, saw another 3-map of Macquarie Crimson and UNSW Howe. It went to all 3, Matt, and pretty close affair. UNSW Howe were able to take that one out. And then we see UNSW Raw taking out the Monash Maniac. So it's good to see a few 3-mappers in there at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think that it's always nice to see series go the distance. You know, it really goes to show the grit and determination from both rosters. You know, it goes to show that everyone's giving it their absolute best there. They're trying to play to the best of their abilities, and like, yeah, it's always good to see how our teams give it their all. But speaking of giving it their all, let's see the results of how things fared out as we have our standings right now. And unsurprisingly, UNSW Raw are going to be firmly in first place there.
Yeah, securing that first place, currently undefeated, still the champions here. UTS, of course, 11-2 after that unfortunate loss to UNSW Raw. And then we see a little bit of a closer one in the standings here. 10-3s for Mutants, QUT, and Macquarie Onyx. But Matt, of course, the round differential favoring the Mutants. Of course, the head-to-head favoring the Mutants. And, of course, we go down the list a little bit further. We saw RMIT Black get a few wins across the board. Adelaide Uni up in 6 and 7 now, Matt. They've jumped quite a bit here in the standings.
Yeah, and going to be Swinburne. Going to be stuck in a place there in 8th. So, well-rounded on the top side of things, but we move our way forward to the lower side of things there. RMIT Red going to be in 9th place there. Pretty close by, as you said. You know, they've managed to do some pretty good work today. So, really solid to, yeah, hold things down. But UNSW Howe are going to be in 11th there. So, they've managed to make some good strides tonight, I think. But Deacon going to be respectively on 12th there. Close by is the Monash Maniacs, so taking away 2 wins. Good on them. Macquarie Crimson, though, going to be cemented into 14th. So hopefully we do see them take another victory.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see Macquarie bounce back here. I want to allude to as well, 2-11 here for the Monash Maniacs. We saw them have a little bit of a rough start to the season, Matt, and then, of course, they started to power up a little bit, started to work out. And, you know, they've gotten some wins to their board, you know. Last week, this week starts to, you know, ramp up here. And they could, you know, make a push towards that middle of the pack going into the future weeks.
I think it's the Mero buff, Tony. Oh, I think it's 100% the Mero buff. Yep. That's what's getting them the wins there. 100%.
Absolutely.
No, I love to see it. Big shout out to that team there. And big shout out to all the teams here tonight. They've been putting on some great shows all throughout the season so far. So, love to see everything all the way through there, just like we love to see our sponsors. So, a big shout out to AGON by AOC, the #1 gaming monitor brand in the world. AGON by AOC provide best-in-class monitor solutions for gaming and all other needs.
And, of course, got to shout out HyperX and Officeworks. Power your game with the latest in HyperX gear at Officeworks. When you need speed, control, and zero distractions, Officeworks has got the tech. Discover gaming gear made to handle serious play.
That's it, Tony. Only the best gear. And speaking of, we want to see out Indomie, the noodle partner. Made with high-quality flour and selected ingredients and spices, a plate of Indomie mee goreng will certainly brighten up your day. Try any one of the flavors available today from your local grocer or at indomie.com.au. So big shout out to each and every single one of our sponsors there. You know them, you love them, we appreciate them. And make sure you check out AU Esports League on all of our various social medias, everybody. If you want to see some of the highlights from our competitions, make sure you check us out on X, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, everything. Check it all out. And you make sure you see all the good stuff. But we want to update every one of you. Next week, we actually are going to be showcasing some of our Open Series games. So make sure you look forward to that. You can see some of our other up-and-comers into our other side of our competition there. So keen to see that, Tony. Very keen to see that. But want to say thank you so much for joining us here this evening. It's been a pleasure, as always, to bring you all the action. And we'll see you on the other side of the time stream. Ciao for now.